When did I get a message?
You have one new message.
Hey, JP, you fucking freak, we're partying. Where are you at? I'll chirp you later. Here's Sam.
Hey, JP, we celebrated the game tonight. Stop it.
Give me the phone. My name is JP. I'm a robot. I like robots. I have a robot vagina. I am not amused.
Welcome, everyone. I am DJ Anubis.
And I am DJ Neko.
Here with you on a new episode of When I Raid Alone. I'm here with my usual partner in crime. She's special guesting with me on this particular episode. And thank you for joining me.
No problem. I heard there was some drama, and I decided I needed to get the tea.
Yeah, so there's a couple of things we're going to get to today. I'm going to talk a little about Diablo 4 first. There's some updates that are going on. Just started Season 3. Haven't really put any input on it yet, so I'm going to give the lowdown of how I feel about it right now. And then I'm going to talk a little bit about the drama surrounding. It's not really a big drama, but a lot of the rest of the stuff is all dealing with Asmongold. There's a couple of people that are coming after him about various things.
He's pretty visual and public, like in the gaming world, so it's really easy to be a target.
And the funny thing is, like, a couple of the people that are kind of coming after him, or they have questions of their own in terms of their own credibility and stuff. So we'll get into some of that. I'm gonna get some of her input as we kind of watch some of the videos of this.
Okay.
First up, though, Diablo 4 Season 3 is out. I really love Season 2. Obviously, if you've watched my videos before, when I talk about Diablo 4, I've talked about the problems it's had from the beginning, and then, of course, they fixed it in Season 2 a little bit better. Season 3 started out a little rough. They've got this new thing called the Construct. It's like a little sidekick that runs around with you and helps you fight. But I found that early on that it was kind of lackluster a little bit. My God, sorry. A little bit lackluster. But immediately Diablo went into basically fix-it mode. They sent out a couple updates, improving some things with like the experience and how the construct works. You're leveling up these runes that you use for the construct. And so there's some things now that they've talked about doing with the Uber Uniques, which I don't know yet because we're going to watch a video from Rage Gaming, who's going to be talking about what they're planning on doing. This is one thing I mentioned though with Diablo 4 is I've like season 2, I've amassed all these uniques. I've got all these weapons and armor and stuff that I am not throwing away yet. And I've been saying that they need to be able to let us either reforge them into new items or get the materials to create new Ubers or something. So I'm not sure what they're going to do. Let's check out from Rage Gaming what they plan on doing.
And welcome back to Rage Gaming and some Diablo 4 news. I'm back once again to fill in for Cotton, who normally covers the recent details surrounding this funny game. Funny is how I describe the mess we're currently experiencing with a new patch. Said patch 1.3.1 dropped with some interesting buffs to say your construct companion. Many different powers were raised in potency, with some already popular picks getting say a 10% bump, alongside the held-back changes to two enemy types, the Vampiric, which can be annoying in the endgame, and more importantly, suppressors, who were both nerfed in effectiveness. Now your Vampiric enemies can only heal for 25% rather than 50% in World Tier 4, but more importantly, suppressors won't permanently have their field active. This is particularly important in the vaults and those final rooms where you're trying to avoid the traps, but if you want to go inside the suppressor field, you're screwed. Instead, the suppressors have this 6 seconds of uptime, then it goes down for a bit, and you can also stop those fields by stunning it, knocking it down, even dazing it. So very welcome changes, but the construct companion stuff is going to be interesting long term. While the main feedback for this companion was that it was way too weak, it was a bit more complicated than that. The construct wasn't a weak...
So here we have basically your companion has...
Oh, this is the companion. This isn't like...
Right, this is the contract.
character.
It's called
Okay.
the Center Child or whatever it is, but it has 6 abilities, 2 mains, and then like 3, not 6 abilities, like 8. So you have the 2 mains, so it would be either like Gyrate or Pummel. And then you would have like 3 other like smaller runes that would add to whatever damage it's doing, but they have to kind of coexist with one
So
another.
what is essential? Is it like a pet?
Yeah, it looks like a spider and it's a machine, and they pretty much this season they've added in like say like you go onto one particular area where they have scorpions, but now the scorpions are like machines, so you're fighting machines and stuff like this. So the Centritrol is basically just like a little spider machine that you achieve early in the game. Start building it up, start leveling up these runes. And I'm still missing like 5 or 6. Like there's 2 like epic runes that you have to do a certain thing to get them. I haven't got that far yet. And then there's still some legendary runes that I need, but I've gotten most of them so far. But it's pretty interesting, but you still have to kind of like mix and match your runes to make sure that they work together. And so
That was in... I mean, I know you weren't a big on Final Fantasy VII, but that was... They had mana and they had... I forgot what they called, but they were like runes that you could put in your weapons and your gear too. And it would have different effectiveness that if you equipped it, it would like oh, so you've got like a fire thing and now your sword has like firepower.
Yeah.
Like, or it would be more effective against water creatures. And that's just always been really interesting to me. I know I'm so out of it by saying Final Fantasy VII. Then when did that come out? In 98? Yeah,
there's a lot of fans of that.
But it's been my favorite. I'm not close enough to the mic. I'm sorry. It's been my favorite for a very long time. And I often wonder, because it was such a pivotal game, especially like an RPG type game. It was so pivotal. I'm wondering now, this is the future. 25 years later, are we seeing that similar constructs are happening?
Well,
especially with
Final
like,
Fantasy 16 came out not too long earlier this past year.
Wow.
I haven't played it yet, but from what I saw of the graphics, Asmongold was playing, it looks really great. I think they still have the Guardian forces, but you know, they've always kind of evolved and changed as Final Fantasy VIII has gone on. But I was always more of a Final Fantasy VIII guy initially, but you know, I do enjoy some of the other iterations of Final Fantasy, but it just works similar. It just, now these don't really affect us too much. Now there is some things that the Shishinal can do, like protect you, like they can create a barrier for protection. So there are, and there's also a rune that I haven't got yet called Auto Defense, which would be really nice.
that would be really nice. How do you
Right.
get that rune?
It's just a drop, and you know, I'm still waiting for it to drop. For me,
You can't buy it.
No, not that easy. All right.
Seasonal power, not at all. It was the buffs that it gave us that were so useful rather than say the construct and specifically it dealing damage. Unfortunately, they had us leveling that so slowly, so they massively then improved the way in which we level it up. With all the improvements to construct stone leveling, we can now test the power levels. And it didn't take long to find out there's actually some strong combos for getting the construct to do some good damage itself. With the patch hitting and the buffs being in, there's only more testing going on, so the very nature of what is meta for the construct may change. But what part of that is funny? Well, the patch itself might have had good plans and interesting changes, but unfortunately, it did introduce a cool new feature for the game, disconnects and infinite loading. Some players are left stuck in, say, the splash screen on launch when they try and play, or if they do make it to, say, the character screen, they're just looking at it try to log in forever. On the other hand, even funnier is one of the two main things we're doing in the game right now, one being Duriel farming and the other Malthus farming, is no longer in the game. They completely barred entry to the Uber Vault, the Vault of the Loom in World Tier 4.
So
and I experienced this myself yesterday when I was gathering footage.
Stuff, then you lose out.
Yeah, but I think it's bad because when I logged on earlier today, people were still talking about grouping up for Duriel. So I think they've refixed it. Blizzard put a note saying they were working on things. I haven't got to Tier 4 yet. I'm still on Tier 3, so I won't be doing Duriel until I get to Tier 4. Which usually is when I'm around like level 70 that I'll go and do the dungeon to get past it. But yeah, I've seen people talk about doing this. I don't know I don't know how many people have done it, but either way, I don't think they're going to take it totally out of the game because that's sort of the part of the issue is that unless they have another plan for Uber, like we haven't got to the Uber Uniques discussion yet. So I don't know if they're going to do something different with it all or not. But like, unfortunately, all the Uber Uniques that I had from last season, I can't use this season on this character because they've different realms. So I had all my characters that I did last season are all in the Eternal realm, which I could play some of this stuff on there, but not the season itself. So that's why I was trying to season out to see how it works with this little thingy with Joggy. So
for a Necromancer build, I went to go get the Echo of Malthus. I entered as normal, spending my 7 cores, mind-numbingly gathered at, say, a Brazier event, and also spending a bunch of pearls to get warding stacks. And while at first it was all fine, the moment I tried to enter the portal to progress the vault at the top left, I was just instantly disconnected. And because I was disconnected...
Well, the problem is, one time it happened to me, and I think I lost progress. So it wasn't like anything major, but I remember I'd probably picked up a few things, nothing major, but I remember I was starting back a ways. It's only happened to me once when that actually happened. But the problem with some people, like if you're playing hardcore, this is sort of like World of Warcraft. You play a character, but if you die, that's it. You have to restart over. So imagine playing hardcore. And let's say
stuck and you're like in a fight or something.
If he was in a fight, it would log him out, and then if he logged back in, he'd be dead. So that's the problem. So
that would be annoying,
right? So I know that DM had because he plays hardcore. I think that happened to him a couple times early on. And that's something Blizzard has to work on.
When I logged back in, I'd lost my 100 stacks that I'd spent. So that's my 3% chance that a unique stone dead for this run. I figured, okay, that's pretty bitter, but I still have the 0.5% on the kill. So I went back to the portal and tried again, only to be disconnected in the same way. So instead, I tried going a different way, to a different portal, and they worked and let me progress. But when I went back to the top left portal, which I have to go into, it was just another disconnect. So I was pretty frustrated at this point and decided to go look at some recent posts by the devs, see if people were talking about it. And actually, a lot of people were. In a matter of minutes, they announced that they're going to be looking into this, only to completely disable the Vault of the Loom about an hour later. So
yeah, I know that early on, there's like this, as you're trying to do the journey, because you're also playing through the season through a journey of like quests. So early on, there was a quest that I needed to progress to the rest of it that I couldn't complete. So finally, I was looking around online, and of course, they said, yeah, just go in, log out, go back in, and it should work. And that's what I did. But some people still didn't work.
It's like, oh, turn the computer off and turn it back on and restart it
right.
And it'll work.
So it's
well, I would like to say that to Blizzard's servers. Why don't you go restart your server and it should work, right?
Well, they're taking so much heat because, they went through a similar process with Diablo 3. Started out really rough, and then like 6 years later, they got it right. And by the time I got to it, it was like 2017. So it already
So you
kind
had
of,
already went through all the bugs, and you
no,
were like,
I didn't
"Fuck."
even go to the bugs. I got where I joined right when Reaper of Souls came out, and that was pretty much when it was better. Diablo 4, you would think they would learn our lessons, but these are not the same developers from Diablo 3. So that's the problem, is that they didn't
No
keep the consistent,
consistency.
right. So we're going through all these new problems that they have, and it's frustrating players and streamers and what like not. They get mad. So I'm patient about it because I know it's just a work in progress, but um it can be frustrating when you're trying to play a game that, even for me, I'm a casual player. Like when I jump on, I want to be able to get in there and
So
play.
okay, so give me the whole like sorry guys, I'm really sweaty today. Whew, bangs are all sticking to my forehead. With World of Warcraft, isn't that you pay a monthly fee, but with Diablo you don't have to pay the monthly fee?
No, I bought the game outright, but
you can still, you're still going online.
yeah. And see, that's another thing that people complain about with Diablo 4 is Diablo 3, you can play both online and offline. So if I didn't want to go online and play with other players, I could just log in and go
Level yourself up.
right. But this is all online, so you have no choice but to log in with other people. And I get like some of the reasons why they do that, but
then you run into shit like this where the Vault of Loom has been disabled and you keep losing progress.
What's happening is they started out rough in season 3. People were just bored right off the bat. They did not like it, and I agreed with them. I was like, "This is rough." Like, I didn't hate it, but I was like, just got unmotivated to play. And so they panicked and they went out and they put these patches in to try to improve the gameplay. And they do listen to people, but like it's just sad that we have to sit here and yell at them basically on Twitter to get them to fix these things when they should already kind of know what's going on.
They should know their clients, right? They should know their audience.
Because everyone's been talking throughout season 1 and 2 about what they'd like to see, and they've done some of those things, but then other things are not really doing it. Now, supposedly season 4 is supposed to have everything fixed, but we'll see how it goes.
All right.
So that means you cannot go kill Malthus right now, as I record this video anyway. Yeah, I figured it would be fixed and back later that night, or, at the very least the next day. But yeah, as I record this, it's still disabled, and there's no estimated return for the vault. We don't know when it's coming back. Pretty grim. One of the two main things I'm doing in the game right now is just gone. And personally, I haven't got a single unique stone in over 60
I can play the
kills
game,
at this point. I am crying for a mercy system for those damn things. It's a real pain. I'm still holding out hope that we will see an update to make these drops, more common, or yeah, maybe a mercy system. It feels a bit silly to hope for that since we've not seen anything like that with, say, the Uber Uniques, which is another sore spot for me, but it doesn't seem so foolish for me to hope for better systems around these items. And that is because we have this very interesting news about Uber Uniques coming from Adam Fletcher. Imagine you farm through for hours and hours, you got your second Uber Unique, and it's a duplicate, so it's useless. Or more likely, you've been farming them for a long time and you want a specific one. Maybe you've even had a couple drop, but because there's no system in place that makes it more likely you get one that you don't have right now, by having multiple, you're more likely to get a duplicate. This PSA then is that the team has some upcoming plans to tackle that concept. Specifically, we've been given a heads up that those of us who have Uber Uniques we aren't utilizing should hang on to them. Don't delete them. This actually suggests more than just the second version of an Uber Unique you have though. Maybe you have an Uber Unique that you only have one copy of, but you have no plans of using it. Maybe it's not relevant to your playstyle or something like that. But that's all the information we were given. At best, we can speculate, and to me, this sounds...
Yeah, my comment regarding that is I've got all these Uber Uniques, and some of them don't apply to the certain builds like my Sorcerer or Rogue or whatever, but my thought process was, let's say I have 5 Godslayer helmets. Well, why can't I either crush them down and reforge them into like a Godslayer tier 5 or something that's better?
Like to upgrade.
Right. Or like in some cases, like with Uber Uniques, you can't change what's called aspects, which give you like certain powers. So certain uniques that draw from my sorcerer, if I'm using a frost sorcerer, but it's designed for a flame fire sorcerer.
Yeah, it's useless.
Yeah, so it doesn't really do me any benefit. So
and how do you do you have a limited space that you can hold things?
And that's another thing that's like last season I had to create 6 or 7 characters just to hold my uniques because I had so many. Like they don't have enough stash tabs.
So you just traded it to your other characters.
Yeah. So basically, now what I did is I waited for the season to end. Everybody went to Eternal. I actually went through and I had to like delete a few of them, but I kept most of them because I moved them to my bigger bank tabs that I have on the other Eternal realm. And so now I'm just waiting for stuff like this to see what they're going to do with this. Like, you know, either they're going to allow us to change the aspects or do what I said, like either upgrade them further or whatever. I don't know. But there needs to be a purpose for them because, like, I know they want people to play different types of builds. But for me, like when it comes to the sorcerer,
preferences,
yes, sorcerer is like the one with the frost build that I like the most. It's the one that I like playing. But I don't like it when they tell me, you know, in order to beat Avatar Zero from last season, like you had to have the ball lightning build. And I'm like, I don't want to use that. It's not the one I like. So they need to be able to make us
a build just to fight an enemy.
Right. They have to be able to allow any build you want to go and win the game. That's how I see it. Like you have to be able to play the builds you like. And but I'm glad they're doing something with the Uber Uniques. I just don't know what it is yet.
Like there's going to be a way to convert an Uber into another one. Maybe a sort of new Uber crafting system. Spend one Uber to RNG roll a different one. Or maybe you need 2 Uber Uniques to then get 1 new one or something like that. Hopefully, if that's the case, we can choose what we're going to get. Either way, if you're one of these rare mystical creatures who actually has multiple copies of 1 Uber right now.
Yeah, one problem I have right now is I actually skipped that, but it's all right. Because I got pretty much out of it that I wanted. But so Duriel is like your top boss that you can fight, and he'll drop nothing but a 925 Uber unique.
What does that mean?
The item level. So you have like 400 item level, 500, 600, 700, 900, 800, whatever. He only drops 900. You have to be on tier 4, do all that jazz. Usually you have to be a level 100 even to fight him, unless you've got people that can carry you through that battle. But the problem is the other bosses, they all drop certain unique. So like for my Frost Sorcerer, I use a wand and like a focus, like an offhand thing. So the wand, the Oculus, the Beast in Ice is the only one that drops that. But it's not a 925. He's the only one that drops 925, but he doesn't drop that wand. So if they allow us to trade an Oculus or something else and choose what we want.
And can you upgrade like your Uber Uniques or no?
You can upgrade them to a point. They won't rise in item level, but they'll rise in power level. So you can usually upgrade like 5 stars. But like I said, if they have like the Oculus is nice, but like I don't really like teleport too much, but that's the one thing it gives you is like a free teleport button, which helps you get out of danger, which I've found a way to utilize it in my last season, so it's good, but I'd rather give me some other power that I want. Or
that you could actually use with your characters and not just like,
right.
System for the Uber Uniques and Unique Stones, and we'll see what they're going to do. Moving on to the next topic, check your email. In the last couple of days, players have been receiving emails about their Season 2 journey and stats. A little look back at the numbers, and apparently over 497 million Bloodseekers were killed by the player base at large, with the new boss, Lord Zir, being killed 9.4 million times himself. On the other hand, 21.3 million deaths were to Bloodseekers, and 1.2 million died at Zir's hands. I would assume these numbers are greatly buffed by the end of...
I think I only died like...
8 million yourself?
No, to Bloodseekers, I think I only died like 3 times. I actually did pretty well. Never got to play Lord Zir. I never got in there to beat him. But I didn't see the point either because each season only has certain things. Like I can't take the vampiric powers that I had from last season and use them now. That's what sucks because that was really actually kind of nice. And Lord Zir would give you like a glyph that you could power up by going to level 25 or whatever. But I think once the season was done, the glyph would go away. You would never get it again. So it's like, why bother? I wish they would kind of allow you to take a character that you have one season and going into the next would be nice, but you know, that's not really how they work.
I find this kind of interesting how these seasons are playing out, because like I get a lot of your point where you're like, it's the same game. These are my characters. Why can't I keep it season to season? But I also get Blizzard's side, because they want to try and keep it so it's so interesting, and you only have it. It's rare. You can only do it in this season. So just remember, this season only lasts from February till whatever. And that, I think, is what they're doing, is trying to really hook people in.
Yep. And that's what it is. Like, because now, like I said, it's all online. So they want people invested in playing the game online. And like, you know, right now the seasons really only run like 3 or 4 months. Like this one's going to end in April sometime. So
the season pinnacle challenge, the Abattoir, which had those
are they different? Well, you said this is
at the end.
Season of Blood. That's this season right now, right?
What is this? No, this is a season of Construct. The last season was Season of Blood.
Okay, so they put different, like this was about vampires.
Last season was about vampires. This season more about like robotic stuff, you know.
And that's where you get the little robot spider.
Yeah.
Interesting. So see, I like this. I actually like it. And you know what? If you miss out, you miss out. So that's how
how it works.
That's how it works. They just want to get you hooked.
Like if they have certain, like when you're going through the game, you can get certain like cosmetics and horses and stuff that only gets offered on those seasons. So,
and what about like you bought this game outright, so you're not paying a monthly fee, but like for World of Warcraft, you know, you do pay, like if you want to, like right now I know you have not been playing, but when you are playing you have to pay Blizzard, right?
Yeah,
to play.
monthly, yeah.
So are they offering like microtransactions?
Oh yeah, they do it. Everyone hates it. Because really, the cosmetics that excuse me, that we get throughout the season isn't that fancy, but in the shop, they're all fancy. So I bought a couple here and there, but like overall, like I'm not going to invest that much money into, because what's the point? You know, like I do pretty well in this season anyway, so it's like you still get some kind of cool things in there, but. That's one thing that drives people like Asmon and DM crazy about Diablo. Even Hog hates Blizzard right now because of that microtransaction.
Yeah, it's like I would like a chance to earn this. Like if you only have the option to buy it, that's kind
there
of
is
bullshit.
Actually a video where Asmon was talking about these very things, and they were offering like this horse cosmetic and horse, and he didn't realize that it was in the shop too. Somebody in his chat said no, that you can buy it in the shop, and he had just looked like fucking idiots. Why? And he really hates the shop. Like he hates the WoW token and like the fact you can buy mounts. He hates the whole idea behind it. He's just one of those World of Warcraft purists and stuff like that. So I get some of his point on that, but for some of us who are casuals, like we'd never get half the shit that he gets in the game. So,
but the only reason I ask is Diablo only allowing certain things to be purchased, and you'll never be able to earn it?
No, I think there are some things you can earn. I don't think everything's in the shop, but
if
a lot of people just say that the stuff that you earn in the game isn't as nice as the stuff in the shop. Like,
but what if you were like a super high level? Do you think you'd ever earn the stuff that's in the shop, or is the stuff in the shop?
Well, it might change because later in this season they're going to be doing leaderboards, and that's where people can compete to see who's the best at doing whatever in the dungeons and
win prizes.
Right,
that's a big thing right now. These leaderboards, even on the stupid our Monopoly Go that we play, like the leaderboards. Everybody has the leaderboards. You go up when you're in your leaderboard, and you know, first through third, you get the best prizes. So.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
You had to kill. If the Abattoir hadn't come in, those death numbers in regards to Bloodseekers would probably be massively reduced. They also reference the unique item drops, with over 350 million dropped, 674 million Seeker keys gathered, and 41 billion potent blood gathered. The last one's funny because I'd maxed out my vampiric powers after like 1 week of season 2, then proceeded to gather an ungodly amount of completely useless potent blood for the rest of the season because there was nothing else to use it on. Further though, we have personal stats to look at. Mine, for example, was just shy.
The potent blood is basically it was when you would go into the blood harvest, they would drop these vials of blood and you'd use that to level your vampiric powers. But the powers, I think you only maxed out at 3 each. So, and you can only use like 7 or 8 of them at a time anyway. Maybe it was like 6. And
so you're not doing any vampiric powers this season. It's completely different.
Well, they all went away anyway. Everything that had that was gone now. So, but at the time when you're playing the season, I had like over 160,000 of these potent blood things that were useless. And I think the point is like you get these secret keys, you can at least open up chests. You get these other things called obols, which are in the main game to get gear if you want, but they're not great gear or anything. But again, it's like I sit there and I say to myself, both the obols and the potent blood are useless because you're getting better gear outside in the open world anyway. So like nothing that's in there except for the treasure chest keys is what I usually buy them for. Is the only thing I use them for. So
here's another question.
All right.
If you're playing the season, is that what you play, or can you play like the regular game?
You can play the regular game. I just wouldn't be able to play the construct. So I can do all the bosses and everything else, but I wouldn't be able to play the actual spider construct. That's only part of the season. So
that's interesting.
Yeah.
20k potent blood earned, 131,000 monsters killed, a pathetic 167 bloodseekers slain, and a selfish 23 blood lure donations used. I openly admit that I'd show up to those events in the blood harvest and then use maybe 1 donation to get the ball rolling, and then usually other people would spend theirs and it would just work for me. My Bloodseeker kill count fell behind a bit compared to others, I think, because the abattoir as a necromancer just wasn't for me. If you weren't a barbarian or at least a sorcerer, it wasn't really for most people, though there were commendable efforts.
Is that like a lot?
What's that?
116 hours played during Season of Blood.
Yeah. I mean, trying to think of how many hours I dedicated to it. I mean, I played it for the entire. I stopped playing it probably like 2 or 3 weeks before the season ended because I did pretty much everything I wanted to. But I probably dedicated at least 50 to 60 hours into it.
Yeah, I mean,
over the course of that time, you know.
How many months is it usually for a season? Like 3?
Well, this one started started January 21st.
Okay.
It's going to go to like April 16th. So it's about 3 months, I think. January,
I just, for some reason, I think 116 hours is not that many.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Because if it's 3 months and you play an hour a day, that's 90 hours played. 90 is, or 1 hour a day is very casual. Most people sit down, they'll be playing for a couple hours.
Well, the thing is too, like, especially for the streamers, is that they're very fast at getting to 100. That's all they do. They spend all day and night.
I know, but it says he only played 116 hours.
Well, I don't know if that was just him. I think that's just everybody. But
no, 116 hours is not much. If it's 90 days of the season, let's just use that, and you play 1 hour a day, that's 90 hours.
Yeah, I don't know how that number doesn't sound right, but I mean, I don't know where is it applying just to him? Okay, if he did it, then that's fine. I can see that. I guess he has some way to record how many things.
No, he got that in an email.
Oh, okay.
Did you get this email about your season?
Like necromancers pushing the highest tiers they could, just not comparable or competitive with, say, barbarians. For example, though, if we look at Josh's stats, who mains a sorcerer and did really push himself in the abattoir for a while, he killed 271
hours.
Over 50 more than me. But yeah, if you're interested, you can check your email and see what your own numbers were, just as a neat stat sheet for the season. Okay, let's talk about the new content, because we have our new seasonal event landing in just a few days. The Lunar Awakening drops on February 6th and will last 14 days, aka 2 weeks, ending February 20th. We got some new details from the devs telling us what's really going on in this. The theme is tied to the shrines of the game, and they're going to be providing you new buffs and important XP and movement speed buffs. When you use one of these shrines, you're going to get a 50% bonus to your XP and also a nice 30% to your movement speed pretty insane, meaning this is going to be an ideal time to level an alt if you want to try something different. The event will start with Ked Bardu in the Dry Steppes, where you meet a new NPC. They just happen to be the leader of the night market, our main hub for this event. Here we'll have a new reputation bounty board system that you level to unlock the themed items. And
maybe.
Yeah, I think it's that's what, and they said the night market, that's really
it looks like an oriental gown.
Yeah,
there,
it
so.
looks.
The new lunar shrines will be found in the open world as well as dungeons. They have a dragon theme to them, basically a dragon statue compared to a normal shrine, and there'll be a new icon on the map, so you don't miss them. There's also going to be new corrupted versions of the shrines, which basically means it's a new event. You go there, you protect the lunar celebrants, cleanse the shrines of the spirits, kill an extra wave if you master it, leading to a great source of reputation
February the 10th,
to get the new item
and they
rewards.
celebrate.
The shrines themselves are still functional shrines, just updated with new effects. During this event then, the artillery shrine is going to cause holy bombs, the blast wave shrine is going to cause new cluster bombardments, the channeling shrine will also increase your attack speed with a chance to reset cooldowns. That sounds really good. The conduit shrine will cause these strikes from the sky around your character. The greed shrine is going to be way better. It has this chance to summon a treasure goblin when you use it, but if you kill 25 enemies with the buff, you spawn another one. So at 50 you'll spawn 2. The lethal shrine might instantly kill enemies while you have the buff, and that causes fear on nearby enemies, though be aware it's only working on normal and elites, not other players or bosses. And lastly, the protection shrine isn't just immune to damage, but you actually reflect the damage, scaling with your level and the world tier. So it sounds a lot more interesting, especially the greed shrine, on top of say the bonus to XP and movement speed. Outside of that, they're changing both the Nightmare Dungeon sigils and whispers with some new effects. On a sigil, you might roll a new positive affix. The new Ancestral Favor affix guarantees the lunar shrines will spawn in that dungeon, and so you probably have a really easy time clearing that one. Even better, if it does have that affix, said dungeon will reward 10% extra glyph XP at the end. Really nice. Then there's the whispers stuff, the new themed whispers that are going to appear wherever normal whispers are, just for some variety. And also when you hand in favors at the tree, you'll get Ancestral Favor for the rewards at the night market. But we've mentioned them a couple times. What are the new rewards? Basically, you level your reputation to 10 and that'll get you everything. A wand, a two-handed axe, a bow, a mount, and a mount trophy, alongside some body markings. That's actually pretty decent, especially compared to the last event. Actual mount skin that you don't have to pay for is pretty unheard of in the current Blizzard standards. Though, admittedly, there's still going to be a pile of cosmetics that you have to buy in the shop during the event. Overall though, I think the event sounds much better than the winter one, tying in better with normal gameplay. And it should also let you level alts faster, help level glyphs. There's nothing to go crazy over, but it's nice and it's more relevant to the normal gameplay. But yeah, that brings us to the end of the current news in Diablo 4. We'll see how it all goes, and we'll have the event on February 6th. Hopefully Malthus has returned to the game soon, and we'll learn whatever they're planning for the Uber Uniques. Until then, I've been Hollow, you've been you. Thanks for watching.
So yeah, there you have it. So I'll be looking for that Lunar Awakening, because I've decided I'm not going to do a bunch of alts this time, so I'm just going to do my main character. So that extra XP is going to help out a lot, because I'm at 66 right now as a level, so I should get to 100 in no time, in 2 weeks.
Now, do your levels, like once you get to a point in like a certain thing, does it go away, or?
No, because once I hit 100, then I can start working on Duriel and the bosses and trying to get the unique.
So you're just not at 100 yet,
right? Yeah,
and
some people are already
when
blasted
you started
there.
from. Okay.
Yeah. So.
Overall.
Right.
Okay.
Now the rest of the stuff we're going to talk about, I'll kind of deal with Asmon. This next one's a lot shorter, but it talks about Suicide Squad has a game out there now. And I've been hearing a lot of bad things about it in terms of like the graphics aren't as good as some of the other games like Injustice, which I played on my Xbox and stuff like that. But apparently, Asmon's pointing out that there's a cut scene in the game where, well, I'll play it.
Okay.
And I'll let you let you comment on it, because I know what you're going to say, and I'll be the same way. But
so hot. Can I
yeah, so this is the character here.
Shark, hold up. Holly, get us out of this. Harley, do not touch us.
But you saying I can't really makes me want to, you know?
Harley, no!
Worth it.
And so they have, like, I don't really have a problem with stuff like this, but I do have a problem with what seems to be kind of like double standards, where it's like, how could you ever have a sympathetic male character do this to a female?
Strange emotions. Tell me about it. Wasn't expecting you to come in fun size.
Do any of you guys think that that would ever make it past production? No, I don't think so. I don't think that they would ever have a male character do something like this and then have a, in any shape or form, sympathetic portrayal of that male character. Because, like, she is a psychopath. She is fucking insane. But the truth is that she's not portrayed as a one-dimensionally evil character, is she? Yeah. Exactly. I think it's weird that, like, there is an obvious, very clear double standard that people feel like objectifying and invading the personal space of men is acceptable in a way that it is not acceptable for women. It's fucking obnoxious, man.
So yeah.
Yeah, so this
that's what I wanted to talk a little bit about, because I agree with them that if that had been a male character doing it to Harley, there would be like this huge outrage, you know, sexism, because it's been talked about in the gaming world for a while now because of all the actual issues behind the scenes with Blizzard and stuff like that.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, Gamergate and all that. So, and now you see a lot more games now trying to do the woke thing. So, obviously, with that in the game, like, I'm like Asma, I don't care. Like, that doesn't bother me, you know. I just know that there would be a double standard that if you had a Deadshot doing that to Harley, you know, and it's like, I thought that's kind of interesting. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's a fucking video game. Like, it really is. And it's an adult video game at that. And these are fictitious characters at that.
Right.
So, yes, I get it. She grabbed a dude's butt and then she got frozen to his butt, and it's hysterical. And it is a double standard because men, if a woman would, if I would be unwantedly touched by a man, it would 100% be sexual assault.
Right.
We've seen and we've watched documentaries about men who were victims of sexual assault by their girlfriends and by other women, and they don't get taken seriously.
Yeah.
But that's the real world. Like, it really is. But Asmon's got a point. Like, if it were somebody else doing that to Harley, it would have never gotten through production.
They would have stopped it.
They would have put a stop to it.
They got to change this.
But because Harley is cute and she is a favorite and she's a little bit crazy,
right,
they're like, well, we can get away with it. Who wouldn't want Harley grabbing your butt?
Right.
That's kind of like where they're going with that. But again, this is a game. Fictitious characters made for adults.
But kids are going to play it.
Yes, kids are going to play it. And I mean, but they've we're going to go down another fucking rabbit hole. Nerd hole. They have proven though that not necessarily video games are responsible for children's bad choices. Now, granted, it's easy if you're playing a lot, it just kind of imprints in your brain. But they have proven that not necessarily the video games are causing, children to misbehave or children to grow up and be psychopaths. That's what they used to always say about television or heavy metal or listening to CDs.
Right.
There's always something where they're like, oh, yes, this is going to cause my child to grow up and be a psychopath. And believe it or not, it's not about the type of entertainment. It's more about the environment that the child grows up in, or any kind of pre-existing mental health issues, or, just etc. So because I grew up in a fairly stable home, lots of family, I played lots of video games. I did not grow up to be a serial killer. But if you have kids who are lower income and like having an Xbox is a big deal and you're the person and that's how you just like escape from the world, and maybe you and your buddies come over and you sit and you hide in your basement and play Xbox all day because you've got an alcoholic dad. Like, they've literally proven you can't just use the amount of hours played to portray that this child is going to be bad.
Right.
They say it's so much more, because they've put it's not apples to apples. It's this child, yes, maybe a child who has problems at home should not play video games because they've already got mental health issues. That's the problem. But back to this point, it is going to be, yes, if you are having issues and you're viewing a video game as real life, shouldn't go and,
That's why parenting is so important.
Well, I mean,
just in terms of explaining things, like, if a kid sees the game and thinks that's okay, or you're a parent, you see that particular scene, you say, well, understand this is a game, you don't do this in real life. You have to, you still have to be a parent,
I think, because you and I have gotten into this discussion a lot. My parents were strict about really strange things. I thought it was strange that they were strict about, more so than like what other parents were. They were very strict about like dyeing your hair. Like, I could only have like 2 holes maximum in my ear. Very strict on curfew and bedtimes, like very early compared to a lot of my friends, even when I'm like 17 years old with my driver's license and a part-time job, still like, yeah, no, you're not coming. 11:30. That's your curfew on Saturday. I'm like, all right, fine, understood. I think, I don't know if that was a factor that made me do better in school or not. I can't say, because I did well, but who's to say if my parents are like, you have no curfew, it doesn't matter. Like, if I would be even like weird things like certain clothing, didn't care. My sister and I running around in a bikini, but they didn't want us listening to like rap music.
Yeah, it varies. I mean,
it's very, very weird. Like, so I with the parenting aspect that you're saying, I think my sister, she has children. I do not.
I just think it's more of like a guiding thing. Like,
well, my sister kind of lets the kids be. And
that could be kind of a bad thing. It could be fine. Kids, people can be smart.
Like she did not give.
Technically, kids should be smart enough to realize that you don't really behave like that as long as you've been raised properly.
And I also think, the move that they made, and they're in much better like school districts and stuff, like from what they had before, has also been very positive, especially since like, she has 3 children and they're all like very like big gaps in age. And I see like, how much better the younger ones are doing now that they're in a better school district versus, the oldest one. I think it's a whole host of an environment thing. So again, back to hours played, it is not a correlation of if the person is going to be, just because you look at somebody Harley grabbing somebody's ass, they're not going to grow up and be a rapist.
Right. No, and that's I agree with that.
But
it's just more of a
tacky.
Well, it should not. Like, I don't care. Like, it's fine. Like, it's a game, as you said, but the problem is more of just the people that usually push back against if that was a guy.
If it was a guy doing it. I mean, that would be bullshit. But you and I, I don't know. I don't know if it's like this 4th wave of feminism right now is getting a little ridiculous.
It is.
Because I consider myself a feminist, because girl power, but like I see these feminists now who they don't want equality, they want special treatment. Yeah. They want extra, and they don't. That's what it is. They want extra. Whereas me, I was more like, I'm fine that men and women are different because we're fucking different, but opportunities used to never be provided to women, and now they are. Or women were not allowed to enter into like financial things unless they had a husband or a father co-sign for them. And this is still very recently. It's harder for like younger people to understand because you were born in 70 and I was born in 80, and it was the 70s that they changed that.
Yeah.
That you had to, like, women were allowed to get their own bank accounts and have their own car payments and own credit card without having a male co-signer.
Right.
Or like if they had like a family trust or something, but like the average woman needed a man. And that's why like a lot of times you'd see women in the 70s with no bank accounts, no nothing, and they just have a box of money. I'm saying this if you've watched 70s movies and you see like just like a box of, because what the fuck were they going to do? They had to go cash their check. If they're, you know, they're low wages and underprivileged and they were on their own, that's what they had to do. Yep. So these new wave feminists, I think, are getting a little crazy. We've done a lot. Like, if you think I'm, you know, in the last 50, 60 plus years, we've done a lot, and we've grown as a society for women and for, you know, people of color and minorities. We've learned from, well, hopefully we've learned from our mistakes and we're doing better as a society. But like, I feel these newer feminists are more like man-hating. They are better.
Besides, there's no reason we can't be civil.
Where did you get that? I mean, I know it's from the 300, but you just had that waiting for me.
I just had it in there. It's like perfect timing.
I know, right? Oh, God.
All right, so
but basically what I'm saying is any of these newer people are like, it's not a big deal for women to do that because women have been objectified for so many years and they're still being objectified, but it's actually...
You! Show me them boobies!
So that's what I'm saying. Like, yes, I get it, but men are allowed to feel objectified, and men are allowed to like not be happy, and men are allowed to not be okay with that. It's, you know, it's their body, their choice, like literally.
Right.
All right, go on.
All right, so the next video we got, now if you remember, back in December when we were driving down to see your sister for Christmas.
Okay.
We were listening to some YouTube stuff regarding Shoe on Head, Xander Hall,
oh my God,
and all that drama.
So much drama on YouTube.
But there was a guy that kept getting mentioned that I don't know a lot about named Vosh.
Vosh. Okay, yeah. Tell me about.
So anyway, to set this up, Asmon had a take about.
Is he friends with Vosh?
No. But what happened is that Asmon said something about AI and how it applies to gaming and art, and that artists' opinions don't really matter because in the end, when it comes to gaming, it's all about the consumer, the people that buy it and consume it and play it.
Who said that? Asmon?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so it might have come off a little insensitive, but he was being honest, and I think he's right in a lot of ways.
Well, the consumers are who are going to pay for the game.
Right. So, like, what's happening is there's this game called Power World, and it's very much like Pokemon.
Oh, is this the one that everybody's talking about?
Yeah, and so it looks a lot like Pokemon. So right now they've got like
a game on the computer, or is it?
Yeah, it's a gaming game.
Okay. Or
but you know, they're kind of going to be in a lawsuit or legal issues with the people who make us in Pokemon. Nintendo.
Because show me Power World. Do you have any?
I don't have anything on it here, but
I'm gonna look at this.
Because anyway,
I've never like even
this Vosh guy was like really going in on Asmon, and so we're gonna watch a little bit of that.
So what's so special about Vosh? Like,
hey, he's just, you know, one of those political talkers, I think.
Oh gosh, it's like little guys.
Yeah. Yeah, the thing is, it's really big right now. A lot of people enjoy it. So that's one of the things that Asmon was saying is that even if it's kind of copying
that guy looks like a chicken.
If it's copying what Pokemon's doing, but people are still enjoying it.
Yeah, you can't really. This guy looks like a little chicken. This looks like a Pikachu on steroids.
Right.
So
there's a lot of similarities there.
This Vosh checks Asmongold, says depressed neat with piss jars piling up in his streaming room. Why do people keep attacking Asmon's appearance, lifestyle, and calling him an incel? Oh, well, here's the thing. You've got to keep in mind, people always love to insult the way that I look, and I just want to let you guys know that it never bothers me. It doesn't matter.
Do I even have to say it?
Asmongold TV, why Japanese games go woke. I used to think of Asmongold as like, I always knew he was a conservative, and there's no forgiving that, of course.
He's actually not a conservative.
It doesn't seem like he's...
Asmongold,
he's not a lib either,
Asmongold is
but...
a conservative. The conservative movement have really fallen fucking far.
Okay, so who... Vosh is up in the right corner. Who's at the bottom?
I'm not sure
Will just let any old fucking guy in. What it seems to me. Because I don't know if Asmongold holds many conservative views. Like, genuinely, I don't think so. The dude famously dated an OnlyFans model. That's a very unconservative thing to do. Right. I think he's actually in favor of many democratic policies, which is, again, very much not a conservative thing to do. I at best, if I were to describe Asmongold, I would describe him as middle. I think Asmongold is in the middle. You see, but the problem with people like Vosh is... So let's get Payne out here.
Vosh,
so
I thought was conservative. Like, conservative.
It's a meme.
We got
the
the
meme is somewhere on the internet, but I can't to find it. All right, so if this is the political spectrum, right? It used to go something like this. So it used to be like this. The right was over here. So
I actually apologize because I thought this was actually.
So you had the right over here.
I want to just see if he talks any more about it.
And I don't think that these people.
No, a lot of Gamergate for their politics. I don't know what the fuck you're talking.
Oh yeah, Vosh called him a Nazi.
But this is the only way it can exist. You're either in their camp or you are a Nazi. Anyways, let's get back to the video.
And then trying to change the way and
he's doing the Gamergate thing. He's doing
so basically he's reacting to Asmon, reacting to Vosh, or vice versa.
And he's reacting to Vosh, reacting to Asmon.
Doing the like SJWs have infiltrated our media and they're trying to wokely change stuff. He's just jumping right to this. Unironically, this is why a lot of Gamergaters ended up becoming Nazis.
And I don't think that these people
No, a lot of Gamergaters ended up becoming Nazis.
I know, you know, it's so funny too because we see it a lot when conservatives get mad when the left starts throwing out the Nazi stuff with MAGA and Trump and all this other stuff, but some of these dudes don't mind doing it to people they don't even really know. It's like, dude, come on, just stop.
That's like,
stop.
I mean, that's a big insult. Number one.
I mean, Vosh could be
two,
a lefty. Like you know, he is accusing Asmon of being a conservative, so maybe he's a lefty, but still, like the Nazi shit is just ridiculous at this point. It's like if you like, I always say if you have to resort to insult, you've already lost the argument. Like, and if that's the best he can do,
but you're throwing out a word that implies the person hates Jewish and other minority people, and that they want to herd them up on trains and throw them in a gas chamber.
Right.
Like that's literally what a Nazi is. And I think because we use it so loosely, you're like, oh no,
it's losing its meaning.
Yeah, well, like I get that the Nazi party was a political party, but this is, you know, it's a little much.
Yeah,
because you're a fucking moron, bro. Like, you moved the goalposts. It's not literal Nazis that is saying, listen here, our games are becoming way too fucking SJW. It's literally just people saying, we don't like this. We don't want our games to preach to us the whole time. The problem is that you've decided that if you don't like your game preaching to you the whole time, it must be because you're a literal Nazi.
Mm-hmm.
It must be, right? It can't be anything else. It can't possibly be anything else.
People are actually representing what Western audience.
This is just a stupid low IQ.
I think that they're weird loser freaks, and I don't think that they have any sort of a read.
What changes? What was this all vibes? What changes?
Like a poll? Well, the thing is, like, even
what is this? Why do you keep
chat links in the context about?
Oh, and I should probably make something clear here, and this is something that Vosh wouldn't know because, again, it doesn't fit his worldview.
Oh, there it is. Far leftist.
The
YouTuber,
translators of Japanese games have admitted this. They have admitted that they tell Japanese studios, her skirt is too short, she's too sexualized, we will not accept this. If you want your game to come out in America or in Europe, you're going to change this character. We will not accept it. They have admitted that they will take the words of characters in Japanese games and change it if it doesn't fit their narrative. If they think that this character should in fact be saying this, they will change it so that the character says this, even if that's not what the original authors wrote. They'll make the changes as they think the audience should be seeing it. And they have all admitted that they are part of the format.
The other one of the other issues is localizers or translators are in danger of being replaced by AI because what they're doing is they're
it's very easy to translate using AI. I did it for years using Google Translate.
But they got up in arms about it, we'll be losing our jobs. But the issue was like one particular translator or localizer, she was inserting woke politics into stuff that wasn't really originally in the commentary.
And because, especially Japanese and English are very, very different. So having a Japanese English speaker.
And the thing is, they weren't telling like Japanese animators like they were doing this shit. So now all this is coming out. And so again, Asmon says, yeah, this is not good. Vosh is probably like, hey, yeah, it is. I like that shit. Yeah. So you got all these woke agendas going at play here. So, but gamers are getting tired of it. Like they're just tired of this shit. Like quit.
Yeah, you want
have a script,
video game to be like a fucking video game. It's an escape. I mean, if I wanted to play politics,
Yeah, we see it in movies, we see it in everything. It's like enough is enough, man. Like go make your own shit, dude. But we don't want this in stuff that we try to escape everyday life, for escapism. So but yeah, that's another thing that's going on right now with the gaming world.
All admitted that they're part of the left. They believe that people on the conservative side shouldn't even play games and they should go fuck themselves. There's actual evidence of this. So Asmon isn't making anything up here. Asmongold is effectively just saying what they're saying and believing them. Vosh is now pretending, and you'll notice that this is a very constant tactic from people like Vosh, where someone on the left will say, we want all conservatives to die. Someone in the middle or in the right will then go, holy shit, that is disgusting. Why do you want all right-wing people to die? And then people like Vosh will come and say, well, listen to him. Why is he making such a big deal out of this? No one said this. I say, well, they literally did say this. You pretending they didn't say it doesn't mean they didn't say it. They did say this. This is exactly what they said. This is why people are getting outraged about it. Oh, this guy triggers the fuck out of me.
About what Asmon is talking about. Somebody used AI to fix the Dragon Maid.
What's with that?
A Dragon Maid, king of pedophile animes. I'm not watching this shit. Woke translator is finished.
That was one of the problems too, is that Vosh, when he was trying to critique Asmon on shit,
you just fast forward.
Yeah, you'd fast forward. He wouldn't even listen at all. So it's like,
how are you making an argument when you're not
listening?
Exactly.
And this guy's probably going to say the same thing because you're trying to make an argument on something that you're not even listening to. It's like, why bother? Like,
Finished? I don't care.
To the criticism, like, I have a vagina, deal with it. I'm a funny woman. We are all talented, funny, powerful women. We are out here. It's going to happen. Deal with it. I'm sorry you're not getting laid. It's not about you.
Yeah, but if you're not translating properly, like
you would think, just do your job. Just do your fucking job.
So,
it has nothing to do with anything else you just said. Just do your fucking job.
To your point about escapism and stuff, Asian culture is very crazy. Like, it's very proper on the outside. And there is like no littering. There is a certain way you present yourself, but there is an amazing subgenre and subculture in Japanese, Taiwanese, Chinese, Singaporean, which is I guess Chinese too. Like I'll give you a crazy example. You can't buy or chew gum in Singapore, but like there is a whole underground of like
the underground chewing gum
yeah,
contest.
no, not of chewing gum, but like there's like a whole underground of like massage parlors and things of that nature. The Asians are making these games as escapism.
Right.
You know, like because on the outside it's a very, very I'm telling you, every Asian country I've been to, it's a very proper people want to coexist in a society together. There you see no insanity like what you see here when we're home, people acting like just crazy standing in line. But the way they get a little crazy is quietly. And yeah, maybe they do have big booby Japanese cartoons and maybe they want to do this and that. Maybe it is a little, naughty. That's just how it is. And so if she is the translator, she shouldn't be putting in her opinion. She should just translate the shit.
Yeah, like it's one thing if you've got permission from the game creators to do that or anime creators to do that, but when you're doing it without telling anybody, that's fucked up. Like that you're fucking up somebody's work. That'd be like her going and saying using the word Nazi, and then there's like this backlash against the game or against the anime movie that falls back on Japan or any Asian country that makes that game. You've put them at risk. So yeah, what she said in her local or in her thing wasn't like dreadful really per se, but you're not translating like you're supposed to. You're doing your own thing. You're throwing in your own agenda or politics or whatever when that's not shouldn't be happening.
I'll give you a perfect example of how the translation changing it is okay. I don't want to say it's a good thing, but a lot of Japanese anime is a little raunchy. There's boobs, like literally, and we've seen some. There's fucking.
Well, this was something.
Just
yeah, go ahead.
If you want to get your stuff mainstream, you do a little bit of editing. You change words, you cover up, and I think when Cartoon Network started to have I think it was called Toonami or something, and it was all the Japanese cartoons like Dragon Ball Z and Sailor Moon, like the old school, this is when I was a kid kind of thing. They edited out things like cigarettes, alcohol. They changed a lot of sake to tea, like instead of would you like sake, would you like tea. That is not a agenda pushing thing. That is, editing it so that it can be friendly for TV air. And I think that's good that I was able to see those things when I was a kid and it came to America. It was harder back then. We didn't have streaming services. You had to go to like the super secret store to get a VHS of something from Japan. Well, now it's on my TV and I can watch it late at night because that's when they put all the Japanese anime cartoons on.
Yeah, this was more mainstream. It was basically two girls, and one was talking about, oh, you're wearing this outfit, and the other girl that changed it. She's like, yeah, I felt like I needed to do this because of the patriarchy or something along those lines. And it's like it didn't even fit the narrative of what was going on in the scene. It was just thrown in there.
What game was this?
I'll have to pull it up later for you. But
take a sip.
Yeah.
He's close. I know it's been 2 weeks, folks. I know he didn't put a lot out the last
been
couple
fighting
of weeks.
that cold and COVID, man. But
yeah, we got COVID 2 weeks ago, and I was better in like 2 days. And
yeah, it barely affected you. Me, it's just been kicking my ass.
But I didn't even get a cough. He's been coughing like crazy. I feel bad for you. I'm sorry.
It's all right. It's getting better.
Move on.
And you enable this kind of stuff. Yeah, I mean, this guy's got a
What
crazy,
stuff?
like, he's really dedicated.
Hey, bro, I can't deal with it. I'm not watching this.
You didn't? Yeah, I did. He didn't even watch. That was the thing. Like,
I can't deal with it.
What stuff? Well, if you'd watched the fucking video, you moron, you would have known what stuff it was. Like, what? I just can't take people like that seriously. You're not going to sit, watch the content, learn, and see what it is being said, and then you're going to criticize somebody for it. It's like, and call them a Nazi on top of that.
Shit. Brain is soup. He has no idea what he is talking about. I'm not watching this shit at all. He's not saying a single thing.
Like, if there's a thread that goes up on...
Asmongold has been promoting AI being used to replace translators of anime.
Yeah, it seems like that's exactly what he's doing. He's just skipping over the video and taking the parts of the video that he does see and making up his own mind. By the way, this is, again, a very normal tactic for him. Like, this isn't even something you should get angry about. They do this all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, I've not seen much of his content. We heard him in passing with the other shit with Shoe and Head and all that, but like...
But how can you make any kind of argument like he is, and he's throwing some, shade at Asmond, and he's not even like paying attention. He's like selectively picking out words that will make Asmond look bad.
And it's because he already made up his mind. Like he probably doesn't like Asmond anyway, so he's made up his mind, said this guy, is no good or whatever. And that's kind of how it works with some of these streamers that do all these like heavy political, shows and talking
you take
points.
What works to your agenda.
I mean, they eat themselves all the time. That whole Xander Hall, like they were all friends, and then somehow just shit fell through, and they didn't like each other anymore. And it's like you see it with Destiny and some of these other guys and the whatever podcast. They eat their own. Like it's so retarded. Like no one wants to even sit there and listen to anybody and have a real discussion about anything. It's like, oh, I don't like you. You're a Nazi. I don't have to have any proof, but you're a fucking Nazi.
That's like, and that's what everybody does. And
it's cheesy.
It was just like what he was doing a second ago when he was having his little
meltdown.
No. The guy at the bottom, not Asmond. The guy with the beard.
Yeah.
He was doing his little charts, and he's like, you're either left or a Nazi, and that's just how they like.
Right.
Left or a Nazi. So you're either what, like a communist or a Nazi? Is that the only choice that we have right now?
I'm so glad I'm libertarian. Fuck all of them. I don't
Where
care.
Are you moving?
So I'm glad I'm libertarian.
I thought you said I'm moving somewhere. I'm like,
I'm moving to Libya. Yeah.
Right.
But it's so crazy.
Take whatever the fuck you say, take it out of context, and then decide what context it should be in. It doesn't matter what the context was. I decided that this is the context, and now that's what I have a problem with.
To do this, he's been watching a bunch of Rev Says Desu videos where a woman who had to... Rev Says Desu! Oh, the YouTube pedo lord.
Oh, wait for it.
Where a
That's a rough statement to make. Like, this guy is talking about pedos, like, quite often. Like, holy shit.
He's pretty fixated on pedos, that's for sure.
Right?
Like, not a single bit of evidence. Not once does he actually provide evidence for this pedo stuff.
We've seen it.
Yeah, I mean, look.
You call somebody a pedophile, and that gets reported that so-and-so was arrested for being a pedophile at little kid's birthday party or whatever. If it is proven that they were not in trouble, they did not do anything wrong, that stuff doesn't get retracted.
What's going to happen is it's going to come down to kind of like what happened with Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. So we enjoy our free speech, and this dude Vosh is still just giving his opinion on shit. So whether or not he's a fucking lunatic or whatever, it doesn't matter. But one day he's going to slip up and say the wrong thing, and then they're going to come after him, and they're going to fucking sue his ass, and he's going to be in jail.
And
so like I won't feel sorry for when that happens, because again, this guy in the bottom is right. You don't have any facts to back up anything. Now, granted, I don't know anything about the Rev for Devs. I don't know anything about it.
I don't either. But
I just don't like when people start spitting out shit
and they don't go away.
You call him like Asmon a Nazi when he's not even a Nazi. Like, it's so ridiculous.
And then he's calling the other guy a pedophile.
Right.
So like, this. We've watched documentaries on people who are wrongfully accused of rape and being a pedophile, etc. Like, that stuff.
It's serious shit, dude.
It's serious, but it stays with you. You may have been proved innocent, but all of those news stories and all.
But then again, maybe this guy Vosh is just out for clickbait and stuff like that. Maybe that's what all his shock value, try to be edgy or whatever. I don't know.
I don't know either, but I don't like this guy Vosh.
He's claiming. He just says it, and then his chat immediately eats it up, because according to his chat, Vosh does not lie. he would not lie to them.
Woman who had to translate for Dragon Maid. This is what Asmongold's arc for the past 2 months has been, I think. Dude, I heard that Asmongold was like a depressed NEET who had like piss jars piling up in his streaming room. I didn't realize it had gotten so bad he was watching Rev Says Desu videos. Holy shit. Why do they have to make it so easy? Like why can't...
Okay, so he didn't...
Is that Asmongold or is that...
That's Asmon. So basically, again, Asmon is listening to Vosh. This guy's just watching that video. So Asmon was trolling Vosh by throwing up his face smiling. That's what he's doing. So because see, Asmon doesn't really get bothered by shit. Like the next video I've got, it's another guy going at Asmon for a different reason. But again, Asmon explains, I don't get butthurt about stuff like this. Because, you know, in the end, he doesn't give a shit. Like he does his shit. Vosh does his. This other guy does his. We do ours. And Asmon gives no fucks. And so basically he's just throwing a smiley face like Vosh hates me. He's triggered. So he's basically just trolling Vosh at this point.
Hear this. He saw a single tweet from a guy that was butthurt because Asmongold spoke about AI, and the guy basically made up this whole thing of Asmongold's room is a typical room from someone that is suffering from depression and is actually deeply unhappy, and people shouldn't make fun of that because Asmongold is actually a deeply unhappy human being, which is the most fucking back of a cereal box psychology ever, right?
That's a great
like,
term.
is it generally true that yes, people who have depression will not clean and will probably have their entire house full of
borderline personality
disorder? But then you look at all the other things that Asmongold is accomplishing, and you go, well, most people that are deeply depressed would probably not be able to accomplish much in the same way. Like the fact that Asmongold is now responsible for the creation.
How about it's just that Asmon is a fucking introvert. Like he self-admittedly doesn't like really being out socially. Like he did go out with that one chick and walk around and shop and stuff. So he does get out, but he works. The video stuff is what he does. So he's on there a lot. But his dad supports it, you know, whether or not his room is like how he actually lives, I don't know. It could be just
it could just be he makes it dark for a reason. Like,
well, no, he's messy, and like maybe that's just
he's trying to be like the stereotypical gamer with all the soda bottles
he's
everywhere.
Got money, but he doesn't really flaunt it or anything like most people do. So, you know, and some people give him shit for that, but like, dude, what do you want from this guy? Like, you know, if he's not flaunting money, but he doesn't really live, like, it's no one's business how he lives. Like, who gives a fuck, you know?
I agree.
Plus, he has a bathroom. I've seen him like leave streams to go to the bathroom. Like, he goes to the bathroom.
So they're
why would he have piss jars? Right.
Like he's a hoarder.
It's just, yeah, it's just more like throwing out insults that when they have nothing to back it up, it's retarded.
Stop with the retarded.
I think it's 3 or 4 different businesses that are all doing super well.
Gotta be woke.
One of them being a gaming org,
Special
the other
needs.
being a computer building fucking thing, Starforge. The indie studio that they started, or the indie publisher that they just started, and I think there's another one. Most people that are deeply depressed would not be able to do those things. So it could also just be that Asmongold just doesn't like cleaning up. Right? He just doesn't like it, and therefore he doesn't do it.
Yeah, he's
Can't
lazy.
it just be he has a bad opinion? Why it can never just be like this guy has a bad opinion. It's like, no, he's like the most revolting human on the planet. Is he mentally unwell? Yes, definitionally he has to be.
We're getting McConnell out for this one, boys. Coming from the guy that said he hasn't heard a moral or legal reason why having CP should be illegal.
In fact, and this is going to be a real...
That's key. Like, I don't know much about that, but what McConnell, who's known Asmon for a while, they're gaming buddies.
What's CP?
Child porn. So Vosh is saying that it probably shouldn't be illegal. So that's McConnell calling him out for some bullshit. That's why I say Vosh's background with some of the shit that he says is very controversial. So
what?
Right. So let's go back to the pedo stuff, you know, like who's really a pedo?
Yeah, he's
Hot
like
take. I have yet to hear a convincing moral.
Let's go back to that.
He just doesn't like it, and therefore he doesn't do it.
Can't it just be he has a bad opinion? Why it can never just be like this guy has a bad opinion. It's like, no, he's like the most revolting human on the planet. Is he mentally unwell? Yes, definitionally he has to be.
We're getting McConnell out for this one, boys. Coming from the guy that said he hasn't heard a moral or legal reason why having CP should be illegal?
In fact, and this is going to be a real hot take, I have yet to hear a convincing moral or legal argument as to why possession of child pornography should be illegal.
So the guy that throws out the pedo vibes with everyone else is actually endorsing having child porn. Go fucking figure, dude. That dude just got owned hard.
He actually said that, by the way. Like, you want to know the kind of person Vosh is? He literally said that. I watched the entire thing of him saying that. He thinks
the video is all forever, my friend. The internet is forever.
It should be fine. His argument for that is if the pedo can watch kiddie stuff, then maybe they wouldn't touch kiddie stuff. Of course, we're completely ignoring the fact that
kitties had to be
where do you think the kitty stuff came from?
It's children had to be abused to create the kitty stuff.
Right.
So
Jesus fucking Christ, I'm surrounded by morons.
I mean, okay, I
not him, but Vosh, obviously.
I am saying
a moral dude, my mind is blown right now. Like,
in order to create CP, you have to abuse a child to create it. Now, like, if you had a fake kid, maybe it's like a 19-year-old.
It doesn't matter, dude. Like the reality is the law looks at it and says, if you're engaging in that, it's wrong. That's just like waving candy in front of a baby.
And also,
like, he literally, his argument,
even, you know me, I always try to wrap my head around where someone is coming from, right? And maybe he's saying in his head, like, okay, well, maybe
they won't harm kids if they're doing that. But the reality is,
maybe he's saying, like, maybe owning it should not be as big of an offense as participating in it. You know, maybe that's what he meant, but like, it's still bad.
It's really bad because there's no proof that someone who would sit there and watch it at home wouldn't go out and do it in real life, because eventually they would.
Well, have you heard the whole cheese pizza thing?
No, but I don't want to get into all
that.
Well,
this goes with this. So, CP, cheese pizza, CP.
Cheese pizza.
Yeah. So, people have been putting up pictures on different, like, solicitations. I hate saying solicitation sites, but like eBay, Etsy, underground stuff of kids eating cheese pizza. I have pictures of children eating cheese pizza, and it'll be like, you know.
Yeah, I've heard that actually. Yeah, it's nasty.
About the kids that were fucking involved in making the shit, right?
That's what I just said.
So they don't count because they come
from,
like Eastern Europe, and they were abducted. They don't count. Doesn't matter as long as the kiddies and like the pedos in the waist have something to watch. It's all good. Like, the guy is mentally unwell, but calls everyone else mentally unwell.
Actual child pornography.
I believe that the property rights of the wealthy should not be respected. I feel that their assets should be seized from them, and that many of them should be executed for crimes against the workers of this country.
Isn't this the guy that people leaked that he's obsessed with horse cocks?
Wait, what?
I don't know what that's all about.
Horse dicks are rad?
He's probably trolling somebody at that point.
Pippa responds to Vosh calling her a Nazi.
Did you hear about what Vosh said about you? Yeah, I think he said I'm a Nazi. That's interesting. He thinks everyone's a Nazi. That is true. I'm not really concerned if a horse fucker thinks I'm a Nazi, though. I don't really, I don't take life advice from people who are fixated on horse cock. So
I'll tell you this. There is definitely a swing happening. It's slow. It is incredibly slow. But there is a swing that is starting to take place in society. People like Vosh rose up out of... Like, people like Vosh and Hassan rose up out of Destiny, right? So Destiny was the first. Both Vosh and Hassan were in Destiny streams. They were part of his community. They got their first break by basically going on his stream and talking to him and arguing with him.
Yeah, basically, Hassan's actually been on Tucker Carlson and stuff like that.
But Hassan is very conservative.
No. He was a lefty. They were battling. But the reality is,
Okay.
Hassan went on there and Tucker caught him in like
A bunch of double
facts.
talk.
Yeah,
Okay.
facts that weren't true. So Hassan like admittedly said, "Yeah, well, I don't really know anything. I just give my opinions." Well, Hassan's very popular, but that's kind of the thing. Like, and it sounds almost like Vosh is on the same wavelength because Destiny at least brings some sort of logic to some of the shit. He's very lefty. I don't really agree with a lot of his shit, but he seems a little bit more even keeled with some things. But Hassan, from everything I've heard, like the guy just spits out shit without really fact checking.
It's his own opinion,
right?
I mean, granted, I am very, very in the middle because there's lots of things I think both sides have to work on.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
I respect people who are leftist, but they pull their facts and they say this is why I feel. It's same thing with conservatives.
You have to have a valid argument, no matter where you're coming from. Like it's fine. We can have these discussions about whatever social or political things that we're talking about, but if you're just going to name call or if you're just going to pull shit out of your ass and not bring any kind of stats or facts to back up your claim, well, then you're just a fucking fool.
Well, that's
really
that's
all it
what
comes down to.
Vosh is like. You know, when we just
I haven't seen
all these
seen a lot of Vosh's stuff, so I don't know like how much facts
but
he
look
actually
at these
brings to
clips that
anything.
he's saying like we should take.
But this kind of stuff, this is stuff he should not be saying like at all.
Take away the land rights of the wealthy.
Now, if he likes horsecock, I don't care. That's
That
his
I mean, but
personal
that's
opinion.
also illegal and probably would kill him. I mean,
Bestiality. Well, I don't know. Wasn't it Steve-O from Jackass? He drank some semen.
I'm talking about getting fucked by a horse. There was a dude in in Washington State, I think.
How do you even know about
because
that?
It's horse
shit?
fuckistan.
Horse fuckistan?
There's the biggest
Get on my horse.
They're the biggest horse sex capital of the world is in like the Pacific Northwest, and a guy tried to have sex with it and got he died. Let's just put it that way. He died.
I haven't got time for this Mickey Mouse bullshit.
Okay.
So in horse fuckistan, somebody get fucked to death.
Horse fuckistan.
And debating him and all the rest of it. And then eventually they broke off and they started their own thing. And it sort of became really big. There was this massive leftist push where a lot of people made a massive name for themselves in the left-wing space by basically just pretending to know what the fuck they're talking about while not having a clue. And for a long time, it did not appear as if it was ever going to change. It literally looked as if this far left group of people.
Okay, I think he's pretty much done with the asthma and stuff. Yeah, so that's pretty weird. Like, and again, like I think you and I pretty much stated our opinion on this in terms of Bosch and how he approached it. Like, if you're gonna criticize somebody about their takes on something, it doesn't matter what it is. Like, it's having an opinion is not a bad thing, but he didn't bother watching anything that Asmund said on it. And
He just
it's like
kept fast forwarding, fast
right.
forward, fast
It's like
forward,
you already
fast
made up
forward.
your mind, so why bother? Like, it's really cheesy. All right.
What's
So next one is a guy named Quasar777, and he's another gamer. I've seen his videos before. He tends to focus on Asmund a lot. I used to think that he was a fan, but he actually does a lot more criticizing of Asmund for various things. Now,
He's probably doing it just to get the clicks because
I think he
so
is,
popular.
and this is the first time Asmund's ever responded or reacted to anything he said.
Because this is the thing, Asmon, he's very comfortable with himself and he
Yeah.
doesn't care.
Right.
So he's not gonna feed the trolls, as they say.
Right.
But I think this dude was trolling hard enough that he got the reaction he wanted from Asmon, and then what's gonna happen to him is he'll get a lot of negative attention, but he'll get the views, he'll get the clicks, he'll get the
Right.
attention.
And now he's gonna be happy because if
Mhm.
Asmon is talking about him, he's gonna be like, "Oh yeah, I finally made it," and then he'll be his friend. But he does. The thing about Quasar, he does make one point that I think I kind of agree with. I've noticed it, and the issue here is the woman Pokimane, who is very popular. She was one of the first big Twitch streamer chicks that was on there. She's kind of controversial with some of the things she does. She gets people banned if they tried to react to her stuff or whatever. And she made some cookies that didn't make them, but rebranded some cookies that were.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah. So Asmon kind of simps for her because he is kind of friendly with her. So is OTK, like Miskiff and all them are all friends with her. But he also did criticize her about certain things regarding all that. But Quasar, he just went all in, and like even at one point he says that if Pokimane died, he wouldn't care. Like I thought that was a bit much.
That's a little bit much.
But here it is. Asmon's gonna react to him for the first time, and it's actually quite funny. So
why would he? Oh well, you're gonna play it.
Yeah, yeah.
Asmongold White Knight's Pokemon.
He's already smiling.
What? I did that? When did I do this?
He lies and he simps.
Pokemon strikes again with our best knight Asmongold. What's the end point? Might do multi-stream instead. Yeah, or both. Who knows? Not more normies find YouTube.
Multi-stream or both. Asmongold literally learned what words mean. She could do both. Is the same meaning as multi-stream in this case, bruh. I mean,
no, it doesn't, because you could stream like for example, like Destiny was doing this where he would stream sometimes on Kick and sometimes on YouTube, and like other people sometimes stream on one platform and then they go and they stream on another platform.
Yeah, so XQC, who's another big name, he went to Kick.
What is Kick?
It's like Twitch, and they paid him like $100 million.
Oh, like
their platform.
Wow, so, because they're trying to get bigger people to go over there to attract people.
But one of XQC's requirements was, I still want to be able to stream on YouTube and Twitch. And they said, okay, you can still do it. Now, Pokimane had made some comments about it, and really, again, I don't know why she was trying to go after XQC that much. He didn't really care much either, but apparently Kick has some controversy because with there's some sort of thing with the gambling part of it that it's tied into Kick somehow with like a different part of the attachment. Not that XQC does it, although he did have like a gambling issue at one point. But Pokimane was just like she felt like that Kick is just not legit. Like it's like dirty and just bad.
Maybe like maybe she's thinking like there's a lot of like underground money being transferred.
Right.
Like,
so she was just kind of criticizing that whole thing. Like she didn't really respect XQCs for going to Kick and because of all that shit. But she recently did not re-sign with Twitch because I guess
so some people can get signed by Twitch, and make money from Twitch. Like Twitch gives them a salary.
But recently they haven't been re-signing people. I don't know why, but I think she's going to YouTube like altogether. Like that's going to be her thing because she's kind of changing her content. She started out doing gaming, but became more like you and I. We talk different things like entertainment, social stuff, political stuff, sports, whatever.
Metal.
She's going to be talking like beauty stuff and whatever it is with her.
She's really pretty.
She is a pretty girl. I do think she's a bit fake a little bit, but who am I? I don't know her, so I don't know.
I think a lot of these girls that are trying to be influencers or micro influencers, they put on what they think is going to get them,
of course,
the most attention.
Right.
And
the
they're
one
always
thing
like,
that she
be
has
your
going
authentic
for,
self, and I'm like, are you being your authentic self? Like,
I mean, she does get credit because she's unlike some other ones. She's not taking her clothes off or anything like that. She just
was like, I don't give a shit if they are. If they're over 18, take off as many clothes as you want, as long as it's not like disallowed by the platform. I don't care. You got to make a living somehow, and if that's the way you're going to make a living, then make a living. But like, honestly, I think you're right. Like, if she's not being re-signed by Twitch, then go to YouTube 100%.
Yeah.
I don't think YouTube signs people like these other platforms do. You have to really work yourself into
I don't know. They might talk
algorithm.
about it in here. I'm not sure.
All right, let's find out.
After that's what I meant. I mean, so that's why.
Again, Asmongold is deteriorated to the level where basic sentence deteriorated to the level
dedicated
where basic sentences that are more than 2 words, he can fuck it up. Both or multi, it's the same meaning in this.
No, it doesn't, because one's simultaneous and the other one is consecutive.
Yeah, the only problem is like with Quasar, like I said, I've seen some other videos.
Is he like Russian?
Yeah, I think he is. But he's always had this thing for Asmon. Like he has so many videos where he comments on his content. Like I know I use content from Asmon and other streamers, but I try to mix it up. I don't stick with just one person all the time. This guy, he fixates on Asmon a lot.
But I'm telling you, he's doing it because he wants Asmon's
Of
attention.
course,
And now
of
he's got
course.
Asmon's attention. So now it's going to drive all these people.
Because we're doing it too. It's
Yeah.
like, here we go, you know.
So all these people are going to go to Quasar's YouTube, and
Right.
now he's going to get the hits, the
Yep.
likes. Look at what we did when we were driving to my sister's house. I didn't know anything about Vosh or Shoe on Head or any of them. But as soon as we saw something interesting, we kept going.
Listening to it.
Yeah, we kept
Yeah.
listening to it, kept going deeper into the YouTube. We were like, okay, who's this guy that
Deep
they keep?
dive.
Yeah. So that's what's going to happen, and that's what he's hoping is happening, so that he can get the attention on his, you
Of
know,
course.
so he can make more money,
Yeah,
or
there
he
it
can,
is.
yeah.
More people also means more competition. Doesn't No. guarantee success. There's always going to be more competition. Like that's just the life. You can't hope for.
That's not what the guy meant. I don't know why he's. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. Anyway, this was Quitter Sits, and thanks for watching. Subscribe. Haven't already. Have a nice day. Bye bye.
That.
Not really. It's completely understandable that people hate Pokimane. She's ignorant. She's annoying. She's self-righteous. She's self-obsessed. She's self-absorbed. She always thinks she knows better. She literally says that she's better than other people. She tries to scam people. She is a bad influence on other people. She lies.
That's a reference to the cookies. But see, Asmon makes a good point here soon. He says,
Okay, so those
she
cookies
rebranded.
are rebranded. They are things that Costco stopped carrying that she picked up. She rebranded them, and she added more protein and changed a couple of
right.
ingredients.
And so what Asmon says is that, in his opinion,
what do you think?
if
what
she
do
was
you think
scamming, she would
everybody
say
does?
these are pot cookies, but they're not.
Mhm.
That'd be a scam.
So what do you think all the cheese is made in the same factory. All the chips are made in the same factory. There isn't like an Utz factory and a Pringles factory and a generic store brand chips factory. It's all made in the same place. So if she is taking something that was
It's legal.
discontinued,
It's nothing illegal about it.
it's
I mean,
a
she just
smart
making
business.
yeah.
But people like to we could say like Utz is scamming us because I can get my store brand chips for $1.50 less, and they're both made in the same factory. So Utz is scamming me. So
Right.
that
Must ingest more fuel.
Do I
you
need to
got all
go
of them
over?
lined up.
I mean, the reasons to hate Pokemon are not
You can't even
are
stop
way
from
more
laughing.
than that.
Okay. All right. I mean, like, am I the only person that thinks that, like, it's really not that big of a deal, right? It's just I don't think there's anybody on the internet that I hate as much as some people hate Pokimane. Like, it's just crazy. Like, even if you think all that's true, it's like, man, that's a big investment of your feelings. Okay. Blow up a tweet
75
that is
million
literally
streaming
just
deal.
fake news to 93 million.
Yeah, I saw this. I thought it's funny. Yeah, people are gonna upvote it and do things like
okay.
that
So yeah,
because it's
so
fun.
one of the things that happened was initially was Asmon commented about was somebody had made up something about Pokimane going to kick. So of course everyone's like, "Oh, she's a huge hypocrite," criticizing XQC, but it was not true. So Asmon was pointing out, like, it's kind of low to go out and put information like that, misinformation.
Mhm.
And of course, Quasar was like, "No, I thought it was really funny," which to me it is kind of funny, but at the same time, like, you are dissing a chick who she does have her own standards. Like, if she doesn't think Kick is worthy of having her and she doesn't want to go there, then that's good. She's standing by her ethics, I guess you want to call it.
I don't think most people believe she's actually gonna do it.
I do. I think that they do. I'm sorry. I think people are that stupid.
even though because she probably never actually got. Dude, why would Kick actually give her a deal? It's not like she's gonna.
Because she's huge.
Kick's giving deals to people who actually can get people to come over to their platform. Pokimane can probably not get anyone to follow her. So she's never going to get the deal. Most people
like that's the one thing that I don't really agree with him, because like he says it about YouTube too as well. It's like when she goes over there, like she won't be able to transfer her fan base over there. I'm like, she has a lot of fans, like a lot. And if they like her content, they're going to follow her there. So like to say that she won't be successful is kind of a dumb comment. She's a big streamer, like huge. So I don't know where he's getting his idea that it's not going to happen.
I think knew that this is fake, and they just liked it, retweeted, upvoted it because it's funny. Because it is funny.
I disagree with that. I think 100%. I think that they did it because they liked it because they thought it was true. I do. 1,000 likes with 12 million impressions.
Nice.
And it's just not true.
And
like
it's funny.
If you don't like her, it is funny. You're right that it's funny. But isn't it also bad? Like, isn't it bad that, like, massive amounts of fake news, that are things that are just flat out untrue, are just being spread? And I'm not saying that, like, it should be deleted. Nobody should be getting banned for this. But I don't think that it's a good thing that people are mass spreading information that's not true. And people think it is. I think that they think so. I really think so. It's fine, right? You can have whatever fucking opinion you want. But what I'm saying is that at least have an opinion based in reality. I mean, holy fuck. If somebody is so bad, then wouldn't it be easy to figure out things that are actually bad about them?
I mean,
well, it's not
we
really
have
his choice,
been doing
this
that for a
guy's
very long time. The things that are bad about Pokimane literally never stop. But what happens when someone says something bad about Pokimane? Look at It's a Gundam. She literally tried to destroy his life just because he said something that she didn't like. And then she was forced into apologizing, and then 2 weeks later she did the same exact thing. And I would not be surprised if Pokimane has just copyright struck and, forced people to remove videos about her that are small and didn't get the traction. It's a Gundam got lucky because he has a big audience. Other people who Pokimane probably has harassed don't have that luxury. And then you have simps like yourself, Asmongold Gold Pigeon, who will defend anything she does because you're interested in...
What do you mean? What do you mean? I made like 4 videos about the cookies. What do you mean? I said the cookies were bad, that they're overpriced. I even ate them on stream, and I said they weren't as good as Oreos. I said it was a good idea for her to do this.
Big creators all being these
paragons
of virtue.
Rather than making them up? I don't know. I think as soon as you start making stuff up, you become an asshole. I try not to do that. I think everybody does it sometimes.
You literally talk about any subject that's available and like you absolutely know it from heart.
But I try not.
I'm big Russian man.
But all of my videos talking about all of the subjects like I know it from heart.
Oh my god, he's seeing him. He's seeing like
But you're watching all of them.
Yeah,
I don't understand. Does it make sense? Got caught or called out? Yeah, what is this?
Gotta get those clicks, don't you, Quasar? Gotta get those clicks, baby.
I'm so confused, man.
Do you like me or do you hate me?
Probably didn't get re-signed to Twitch. Why is that? Because Twitch isn't doing creator re-signings. This probably doesn't have anything to do with her or the quality of her content or anything like that. They're just not doing re-signings. And so, because of that...
That's actually crazy because Pokimane...
Who, Asma? Yeah.
Like, he knows her.
Yeah, he knows her.
They're like...
Like, I wouldn't say they're best friends, but he knows her. They're friendly.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's why I say sometimes, like,
He simps. He simps for Pokemon.
Yeah, I fuck with him more when I say that, just because, you know, it is kind of silly sometimes. But to his credit, he does criticize her when there needs to be criticism. Like, he did say it was a bad idea to, you know, overprice those rebranded cookies and stuff. And but he was more like disappointed when she did a video basically saying, you know, something to the effect of, you know, if you're a poor boy, to just say so. And like, it being nasty about people criticizing about the cookies. So he's like, you know, probably shouldn't do that to your fans, you know what I mean? But, you know, he tries to play the middle ground. That's the way you should do it, you know?
Was one of the 2 or 3 people that Twitch at one point thought that they can never lose. And Pokemon's, by the way, self-explanatory, because think about it. Pokemon is the only female creator on Twitch who wears clothes. Yeah.
It's the only one. Oh my god.
Think about that for a minute.
Oh
shit! Who's the next in line to present Twitch from the female perspective?
Who could imagine?
Probably Amaranth, and we know how
Amaranth.
how absolutely disgusting filth of a human being she is. So that's amazing.
Oh my
Again, because they're all the same.
does.
Essentially, they're just lying, manipulative, and evil. Bruh, Amaranth.
And to be
with
fair to Asmon, like, you know, he's friends with Amaranth, but he doesn't really like agree with her content. Like, he's not like, it's not something that he would endorse. He allows her to just say doing what she wants because it's her choice. He admits that. But he's not one of those guys that goes out there and say, yeah, man, you need to go sub to Amaranth and all this stuff because of what she does. Like, he's well aware of how she gets her content and her money, but it's not like he's out there like promoting it. Like, it's you know, he doesn't really like per se that's part of the Twitch, you know, game out there, but he accepts the reality of what it is, you know.
all of the fake stuff that she has done to garner sympathy. Exactly, Pokemon style.
Is an asshole? Well, then don't watch.
Only less clothes.
Watch her, right? I'm not making a. This isn't
Oh
about
my
whether
God.
she's a good or bad person. I don't care about that. The point is that
Other
I think that
people
really
care.
it's a better idea for her to go to YouTube. Let me talk about why I think it's a better idea. So Pokemon, it seems like, wants to become a much more mainstream content creator and not focus primarily on just doing gaming.
Yeah, we already know that. Have you ever seen... She has a YouTube channel, by the way. She is trying to live that Kim Kardashian life. Literally. She is just...
He gets to a point here where he's like basically saying, yeah, she has like 6 million people on YouTube that follow her, and he tries to make it sound like it's a bad thing, like somehow it's low. And I'm like, are you fucking serious right now? That really, you're gonna go there?
Yeah.
Like, look at my numbers and then look at hers.
Okay, so like everybody thinks that they have the hack to the algorithm, and there is really no hack except for if you have a lot of likes and a lot of follows, it's going to put you in heavy rotation. So when people are watching similar things, so I think this is why maybe Pokemon is trying to get more into the beauty influencer side. That is a big thing on YouTube.
Yeah.
I watch a lot of stuff on YouTube where it could be something like somebody is getting going to the spa, getting a facial, or the gross stuff where they're popping the pimples, or I'm trying out new makeup, I'm doing my hair. That is big on Twitch, or excuse me, on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, all the reels. There are so many people who are like, oh, we're gonna try out this, blah blah blah. So she's already has 6 billion followers, and it's her gaming people who already love her and respect her. Well,
yeah,
she's already gonna, with her new stuff, she's already gonna be up and
and
trending
she
faster.
may still end up doing Twitch too, like XQC, like you know when
Maybe she's just gonna separate it. Like
Maybe,
all her
maybe.
gaming stuff will stay on Twitch, and then all her beauty stuff will be on YouTube.
Yeah.
Essentially trying to be Kim
Then she should do it on YouTube. That's my point.
Kardashian. Only problem is when you remove her makeup, you see a goblin.
She's done multiple collaborations over the past 2 years.
Again, we're back to the insults. We can't really debate anything without like calling her name.
Who is this guy?
Asmon,
Jesus
man.
Christ.
He's got a lot of content on you, my friend.
Oh my God. This guy knows something? He does. Her influence outside of just the gaming space. And the truth is that if you are on Twitch, you are being watched by a majority of guys. It is a majority male-dominated platform. And because of that, it is very hard for a female to develop an audience of people that are also females.
And?
Yeah.
Well, but she wants to be a beauty influencer.
That's why she should go to YouTube.
Yeah, as much like this is obvious. That's why you go to YouTube.
That's the point.
Build up your brand on a different
that was the
platform.
whole point.
Yeah.
Like, I get it. Asmon get it. You get it.
Yeah, it's not difficult.
Who
it's not a
cares
difficult
if
thing to
you
understand.
That's not how fame works, you dumbass. It doesn't matter if you're getting watched by children, adults, grandparents, female, male, trees, or rocks, or whatever. As long as you're famous, you're famous.
No, not true. There are some types of fame that are more transient than others. So, like, for example, if you are...
After all the controversy that she's had recently, even though it was just over cookies, she has to kind of rebrand herself. So I think that's part of what she's doing. She's like, okay, I have to rethink this because, I've done some weird things that maybe people didn't like, but that might always be there because she might always say controversial things. But going to YouTube, now she can just open up to a whole new world. So she's basically...
It's a whole new audience.
Right.
And
so
some people, like, they have YouTube as their entertainment source.
Right.
They're not watching TV. They're watching YouTube.
Right.
And
famous for let's say like the Amaranth brand of famous, right?
Video.
Like famous in terms of like...
Don't be surprised if she jumps from... If she has 6 million now, once she goes there full time, she may well get in the 20 million range. Like that's how different they can make. Because like he said, Asmon's like, if she wants to get more female followers, like the gaming world has some females, but not as many as it does male. So if she's going to branch out to beauty and all this other stuff that she likes to talk about, well, then that's the way you want to do it. Like even Kick is more like gaming too. So YouTube is actually better.
You have to figure out your audience and your niche.
Yeah.
And if that's what she's doing, like, good for her. Like if she is moving away from gaming, Twitch, she's not, topless. So
no.
And that's why she wants to get away. She's like, I'm not going topless. I'm not.
And maybe that's part of it because, she being one of the few women on Twitch that games there and all that stuff, like a lot of the other ones use visual stuff to gain their audiences. And she's not, she's pretty, but she doesn't do what they did.
She doesn't want to get naked.
Right.
Again, if she did, she could do it and that would be fine. But
that's just not her.
No. And she's doing a smart business decision. Like this is how she makes her living. And if she wants to continue supporting herself and she wants to rebrand herself, then probably YouTube is a better place.
Yeah.
Being really hot or something like that. This doesn't last as long as somebody who's famous for like let's say being an athlete, and maybe that might not last as long as somebody who's famous for I don't know, like being a very well-known politician or somebody known in business, because like just in general, or like a movie star, right? So like each different type of fame, like think about the people that are really famous on Kick right now. Are they going to be famous in 3 years? No, they'll be in jail. So
I have no idea who's on Kick.
What's really the point of this? The point of this is that obviously, she's done the thing on Twitch for a long time. You want to grow your brand. You want to do something different. You go to YouTube because there's more people there. You want to fish where the fish are. Doesn't it make sense? Like, think about the most famous person on Twitch. They are a fraction of the size of the most famous people on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And there are people who...
because it's a bigger platform.
Yeah, if you think about it,
there are some people who are not actively making videos on YouTube, but they've kept their channel active. and haven't put up videos. I'm thinking of one of my Jenna Marbles. I used to watch her all the time. She was really funny. She had the little dogs and stuff.
Right.
She hasn't made a video in a couple of years because somebody got a hold of her a video from when she was in college, and she was putting like lots of self tanner on and claiming that she was trying to do blackface.
Wow.
And she had to come out and do the apology tour. But she's kept her videos up. I'm pretty sure she took down that one.
I'm sure she's still making money from
But
it.
she still has millions of followers.
Yeah, so think of like when I was talking about the Sniper Wolf situation. She has 32 point something million on YouTube. And she's not near as interesting as Pokimane will be. So if Sniper Wolf can still draw that, even with all the controversy around her, Pokimane could well go above that.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
There's more people. There's more fish.
I'm gonna look and see what her channel is doing right now.
On
Is she
YouTube, that's
Pokimane
not
on
the
YouTube?
case.
Yeah.
On YouTube, there is a massive, vibrant, huge. I think he meant it doesn't matter who's in your audience. It absolutely does. So if you have an audience of young guys that are watching you because they think you're hot, that will stop. That is not something that you want to build a 30-year career on. You want to build a career on having people that like you for you, that relate to you, and that like you as a person.
So she is active in a stream, I think.
Right now?
And, well, it says streamed 9 minutes ago, but it
Okay.
has like 3 hours and 31.
So it probably just ended not too long
and
ago.
it has 54,000 views.
Yeah.
And she has 6.6 million subscribers. What is Valorant Solo Queue?
Valorant is a game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
Live, first ever stream on YouTube Q&A, and this was 1 day ago.
yeah, so there you go. So she
254,000 views.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And
So I don't think she's gonna have a problem.
2 months ago, she put up a short 11-minute video, brutally honest life update, 437,000 views.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't have a ton of videos,
But that will change.
but that's going to change because that's where she's going to be putting all of her content. You know, there's other people who are talking about Pokimane on their videos, but
well, and that's the thing
her
too.
actual
She was still getting hits because people were doing exactly what we're doing here and what Quasar is doing. You start reacting to people. Not only are they going to come to his channel, but they're going to go to Asmon's, and then they might check ours out or whatever. But
9 days ago, my LA house tour, 305,000 views. So her live views have been getting a lot, but she is, again, she's got maybe 7 shorts. Her videos, she has not that many. And all of her videos, like one
the thing is, probably most of what she was doing prior was all on Twitch, so that's why her YouTube, even though she was probably having, like, I'm sure she's got mods just like Asmon does. That
Here's
editors.
one from a year ago. Why I took a break and what's next for me? 1.1 million views.
Right.
So I don't think she's going to have a problem transitioning to something new because people actually are invested in her. And then if she starts going a different direction, because I think from her previous videos, it was more about like her life. It was, this is my house, or I went to the Philippines, or here I am. If she's going to pull in some new content and
if she's going to beauty or she's doing gaming or whatever, like whatever she does, like we do multiple things on here, different people are going to be interested in certain things. So even the gamers aren't interested in the beauty part of it. They may still look because
she's pretty.
Well, that plus, you know, you have diehard chatters. So, you know, they'll get in there and they'll talk to her when she's live or whatever.
Or if this dude, I forgot his name already.
Quasar.
He said she was ugly, looked like an ogre without makeup.
Yeah, he hasn't got to the part yet where he says he wouldn't mind if she died. Like,
oh my god, okay, go.
Community of, for example, beauty community. Holy fuck! I thought, wow.
Yeah, are you kidding me? You understand why it's called the beauty community? Because these people primarily have their personality.
Video of some woman talking shit about another person, and it had like 100 million views.
Damn,
are you fucking kidding me? This
Talk
is
more
insane.
shit,
I
yeah.
didn't even know this existed. It's like what the what?
To be fair, the beauty community is wild. This was I found out about I think 40 years ago, and I watched a couple of videos about what's happening there, bro. Bro, if you're in the beauty community and you're not being labeled a PDF file, you're probably not actually in the beauty community.
What is
I don't
this?
know what that means.
It's like, yeah, such a waste of time. Well, yeah, but you can say any of that stuff. But I had no idea. Pokimane will do much better on YouTube than she will on Twitch, because her content that she's not making content.
No, she won't. That is purely speculation on baseless speculation. Essentially, what is this opinion?
It's actually called common sense, my friend. Like,
He's like unnecessarily like angry. For,
yeah.
It's like he's perturbed for no reason. Like, what does he care? I mean, what do we care about this? But
right. I mean, it's all opinions, but like,
he's like very, very hostile about Pokimane.
But that's the thing,
I don't
right?
know why.
If I hadn't seen his prior content regarding Asmongold, I would be like, well, where is this coming from?
Well,
but this guy,
he simps for Asmon.
he does.
And that's what we're gonna title this. So and so
Simping for Asmon.
Simping for Asmon. See what happens. We'll probably
it's
get
an
banned.
Asmongold opinion, so it's not like you're gonna have valuable insight or educated guesses or anything. No,
we'll see.
Again, Pokimane already has a YouTube channel.
We'll see. See, this is the thing. I don't take this as offensive at all. I don't. Let's see what happens. I'm not emotionally invested in this outcome. This is my read on the situation. This is why I think it would work. This is why I thought it was a good decision. And so we'll see what happens.
That's not doing
If
that.
she's not getting
well.
re-signed
It
by
doesn't
Twitch,
get
why
the
not try
views,
something new?
And it's
Right.
literally probably predominantly based on females already. So she has that. You can be a Twitch streamer and you can have a YouTube, and these audiences can be completely different. It is possible. Yeah. Actually, let me check.
For, like I think that's generally not necessarily true. Like a majority male audience in the same way that like a lot of girls on Twitch, this is the reality.
Here she is in the skirt show, so she's obviously attracting thirst, so that gets a little bit more. You see this? This is pathetic. And what is she trying to do? Well, she's essentially trying to be that womanly influencer. She's essentially the female version of
She already is an influencer. That's what she's done her entire career.
Logan Paul. She's a Kim Kardashian wannabe. Look at this. Talking to random strangers. Trying to be viral as possible. Donating at 10K but can double it. You see what I mean? She's just trying all of these things. She's just trying literally to be as, well, Logan Paulish as possible. I miss.
What?
Yeah.
But she doesn't even pump out videos. My first
Not
time
yet.
camping. She's desperately trying to do.
See, he doesn't really understand that for the most part, up until recently, before the YouTube stuff to change, she would stream primarily on Twitch and probably have editors put stuff on YouTube. Or as you said, she would save YouTube just for various like real world stuff.
Yeah, fun stuff, not gaming. She has nothing.
But that was never a priority for her prior to the Twitch stuff. So it's going to shift. Now everything's going to be on YouTube. So you can complain all you want about anything in the past, but that's going to change. She already just spent 3 hours on live on YouTube. So it's going to shift.
anything that's going to get attention. And consider
Yeah, and I think that's a good idea. That's what she should do. Because like I would argue that like having 200 to 300,000 people that are watching you for like lifestyle content is better than having 600,000 people that are watching you for like meme videos.
Yeah.
It's more stable, it's more reliable, and it will grow over time. So that's the reason why. That's why, like, for example, like I usually judge myself and like how well I'm doing, not based off of like my peaks, but instead on my valleys. Because like that's where you really know that you have people's attention for the long run, for the long haul. And so that's the reason why I said that. And I do think that's the right decision to make, because this content that she would do on Twitch would be even less popular. That's the reality. People would be saying all kinds of bad stuff. So if you want to make content and you want to diversify an audience, YouTube is a much better way to do that. I think, for example, I'm a great example. This guy got banned in this chat 2 years ago. So I created a villain 2 years ago whenever I banned him and he made videos. No, I think this is totally fine. Like, I want to say that, like, obviously, you know, I might think that he's wrong, but this is the reason why I don't take people getting mad at me and disagreeing with me personally, because I know that over time, what I said will be true. And so I don't need to protect the truth. I can just prove it. And so we'll see what happens. And I could be wrong, but I think that based off of all the variables and my observation, that I'm right. And so it doesn't matter to me whether people insult me. It doesn't matter to me what people say about my appearance or anything like that.
Amen.
It's totally okay with me. Making videos, calling me names, all of this stuff, it doesn't bother me at all. This is totally fine. I put my videos out there. You can watch them. Do whatever you want to do. It's okay.
Preach, brother, preach.
This is a 6.6 million channel. Man, that's pathetic, yo. She's absolutely.
That's what I don't understand. Like, where do you
failing?
How is that pathetic? Like.
And by the way, the last time I checked her channel,
and I think it will continue to be hard for her for a while. It'll probably take 2 or 3 years to really transition over to like doing lifestyle content entirely and having people respect her for that type of content creator. Like for me personally, I know that whenever I went from like doing like commentary content or to doing like more like only gaming content to like, you know, I did like 80% gaming, 20% commentary. And like now it's probably like, I don't know, like 60-40 or like 70-30 gaming or commentary gaming. And it took me like a number of years to actually like really transition over to that, to where it was popular and it helped my channel. Like you don't really do something like this overnight. It takes a long time to do it. 80-20? Oh, I don't think so.
But that was, I think, a year ago that I found the reason to check it out. And it was doing...
9-10? No, I don't think so. If you look at my channel, right, for example...
I found the perfect subtitle for this episode.
Oh, no.
Asmongold haters, the hidden reasons they can't resist simping.
We're talking about you. What's his name? Valtrex?
Quasar.
Quasar.
Yeah.
Okay. Valtrex is for herpes. Sorry.
Let's see here. Gaming. Go over to YouTube. She's gonna find more people on there that actually want to be. They want to watch.
Didn't work out for Dr. Disrespect that well.
Her for
what?
She got banned.
He's referring to a guy named Dr. Disrespect. I don't know anything about him, but Asmon's saying he got banned. Like, I don't know. And I think
this guy knows way too. Quasar knows way too much about the ins and outs of like to know these like chatters that have been banned. That's a little.
And also, like, you don't have a difference. Like, how can we tell?
There is a point
how many
that comes
viewers
up where Quasar says something to the effect that YouTube doesn't have like a higher draw than Twitch, and then Asmon literally pulls up the information that says YouTube is like the biggest streaming platform out there and proves them wrong. So it's really funny. These guys that constantly come at Asmon. It's not like Asmon's right every single time. That's not how I approach it. But the two examples we did today, these guys are coming out with no statistical facts to back up anything they're saying. Now they can have their opinions, but
they're just trying to get the attention. That's all
Clickbait.
This is. So right now, Asmon is giving this guy a lot of attention.
Sure.
And now what's gonna happen? He's gonna get people coming to his stream and come to his channel. That's all this is.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing. And Asmon knows that. That's why Asmon approaches like, you can use my videos. Like DM does it, Hog does it. Everybody kind of feeds off each other, and so that's just how it is. But obviously the key to it all is you just got to make sure you're crediting the people that you're using on videos.
Does Dot get on his streams nowadays? I genuinely don't know. He gets 20. He gets 45. Dude, he's doing better than he was doing on Twitch. What do you mean? Because like Doc was like huge in PUBG. He was kind of good in Fortnite, and then he went down. Like Doc went down by a pretty good amount for a while. He was getting like, 15, 20K views for a long time. He's got 40. Wait, Doc has 41K viewers.
Can I have 100 or 1,000K? Can I get that?
Yeah,
Anybody?
1K.
1K. Just give me a solid.
41,000 viewers at this very moment. Right now. Like, where would that put him on Twitch?
I do like when Asmon does this, where he pulls
at the tippy top of the mountain, and he's only halfway there.
He's on his
He'd be
game.
ahead of me.
He's on his game.
There it is. To be, rather than they want to watch her for what she was. So I think it's a good decision for her. It is. It's a great move for her. She'll be a part.
Also, technically he's correct, but he kind of has this absolutely idiotic, moronic idea also engraved by default that Pokemon can just do it and be instantaneously successful.
He just said it's going to take 2 to 3 years.
That's exactly what I said.
Literally.
I said that
Asmongold,
exactly.
right.
Absolutely. That was my whole point. Yep.
He said it's hard.
Dude, I
She's
think
going to struggle
moving
for
to
2
YouTube
to
could
3
potentially
years.
easily kill her. Not in real life. Shame. But, her
Oh.
career as a whatever.
That's kind of
yeah, and a lot of her friends are on there too anyway.
Dickish.
Yeah, that's a fucking low bro move there. Like,
I think Asmon's kind of like right now. He's like, did he just say what
Yeah.
I think he said?
and that's the thing I don't get with some of these people. It's like you can dislike someone, but wishing death on people, really? Come on, man.
I mean, I have only
they're like, no matter if you think that Pokey is fake or she's done some shady things to other streamers, the reality is there's far worse people in the world. than Pokey,
exactly.
man.
I'm
You know
trying
what
to
I
think
mean?
of like people that I've wished to die, and
Hitler.
yeah,
He's
like,
dead already.
I dislike people, and I'm not friends with people anymore, and I've had run-ins and disagreements.
All right, let's try to wrap this one up.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Keep it going.
Try and mention, it wasn't the contractually obligated hours, more of a deterrent. I'm not sure about that. I don't know if she can escape the hate. It's all over on Twitter too. Well, I mean, like, that's just what's going to happen. But what I'm saying is that...
Yeah, there's no way Pokemon stops being an absolute detestable and dislikable person. It's just, that's who she is.
Yes, it's all over.
She
it's all
is
over
by
Twitter.
nature just
it's out there.
Absolutely
She's
putrid.
getting attention.
There is an audience
attention.
of
That's what
people
you want
that
right
don't
now.
care about that stuff on
Quasar,
YouTube.
you're looking for negative attention.
There's no such thing as bad publicity.
So he's getting right now. He's grinding.
I think he's really overselling it.
Yep.
I do. I think he's really overselling it, guys.
I agree, Asmon. He just
Because
wants your
they're more
attention.
disconnected. YouTube is like one of the biggest social media networks ever.
Oh, really?
YouTube is like multiple.
Yeah.
Yeah. Multiples larger than Twitter. You want to see the culture change on Twitch to be more balanced? Yeah, I do. I was so.
He's gonna pull it up. You don't fuck with Asmo with stats, man. I'm telling you.
Oh.
You don't want to do that. He knows what he's talking
Make it
about.
bigger. I can't read. Zoom in, Asmon. Zoom in.
Yeah, I don't know if I can do anything here.
Okay,
with this.
Facebook is number 1, YouTube number 2, WhatsApp number 3, Instagram number 4, TikTok number 5.
Well, I think it's WhatsApp.
As I said, I don't need to protect the truth. I just prove it.
There you go.
Yeah, and for me, I don't use WhatsApp as a social media. I use it for like when I'm out of the country. Yeah, for messaging.
Jinxie. I was so happy whenever they came onto the platform because those are the guys that are like changing the monolithic Twitch culture of the same boring fucking memes for the last 7 years. So yeah, I was so happy to
All change is not good change. Okay, so what exactly are we talking about here? Not much. Also, it's literally just a black culture. The majority of people who watch these people are black. We know.
No, I don't think so. I think there's plenty of white kids that pretend to be black that watch them too. I think that there's plenty of them as well, and it's also just young guys. What
I don't
about like
listening to this
Jinxie?
guy, but I seriously think he's
It's just no, that's not. Where's the analytics for this?
Well, and you know, in Quasar's defense, this is what he's been farming for. He's been waiting for the day that Asmon pulls him up and does this, and so I'm gonna be looking to see what Quasar does next.
So let me. What's his name? Quasar what?
I believe it's spelled QWAZARR 77. I think.
QWA.
Let me see if I can even pull it up here.
Z. Quasar 77.
Yep, that's it.
Okay,
Yeah.
so let me find him.
So here's his page.
So right now, stupid.
So he just did another one, I think, 6 hours ago.
So he's got 11.1 thousand.
Oh, okay. So he
subscribers.
actually just spent 2 hours responding to this video that.
Shut up! Really?
Nope. Yep. So I'll have to look at that later on.
Here, so my response to Asmongold being wrong is what we're kind of looking at right now. Oh, that's this one. That's okay.
Yeah, that's his newest one. So the other one,
Asmon Lies, got 6,000 views.
Yeah.
And his others, some of them don't even peak 1,000.
now he does all right. He has like over 2K most of the time. But he's been at this a while. He has like 11,000 subscribers, so he's decent. But he's clearly farming Asmon.
He is, because anything that he puts Asmon on, he like last kills Diablo 4 and Path of Exile, he has Asmon's face, and he got 9.2 thousand views.
Yeah.
So he's definitely farming.
Yeah. But that's how the game works.
And that's how you move up, and that's how you. But I honestly think after this, let's look at Quasar in a week.
Yeah, we probably won't do it. Yeah, we'll
let's look at Quasar in a week and be like, okay, let's look at those. I mean, he's like a micro influencer himself. We watched. I don't know if you watched that documentary with me about how to like fake being famous, and how there are ways to like buy bots and buy follows and buy things and do whatever. And if you micro influencers are not these Asmons or the people with the 6 million subscribers, they have like a modest amount, but they still make enough to support themselves in a decent way, not in a multi-million-dollar way, but they make enough money where, and the trick is you have to fake it. They were doing
fake it till you make it.
They were doing the photo shoots on the fake plane.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
And they were buying followers, and they were buying bots to watch their content. And then the one person, like, everybody started feeling icky about it, like, because it was kind of like a contest. They ended up deciding to help. They interviewed and whatever, but then they decided, like, okay, this one person, he's an artist, and this other person is into music, and this girl was the one who stuck with it the longest. But then she said when COVID happened, and she's still getting all these free samples and stuff, and that's what happens to a lot of these micro influencers. Like, you get the views and you start doing partnerships with brands,
right?
And she was like, COVID happened, and I just started feeling really bad about doing this, knowing that my beginnings were not authentic. And that was like with the artist and what the musician, they're like, I can't do this. I want people to take me seriously for me.
Right. Well, I think that's going to do it for today. I do appreciate you hanging out with me and talking about this.
I had a good time. I'm sorry I keep messing with my hair, audience. I'm pretty sure I'm having hot flashes. Like, I see he laughs at me sometimes. I'll get done blow drying my hair, and I'm sweating from the heat of my blow dryer. And today it's 40 degrees here. It's not
actually, it was 55 when we got home earlier. So
I'm sweating.
But yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I'm glad I had you here to hang out.
I enjoy this. Stay tuned.
I love that drama.
Love the
drama
tea.
llama.
Love the tea. And you stay tuned, because I might be doing my own reaction video.
Yeah. Yeah, she might react into one of my other videos. So
just
be interesting, eh? All right, I still got my Godzilla rankings coming up sometime next week. Then we got some other stuff coming up with Lambert of
Paley Entertainment, and we're gonna be doing the whole Monarch review.
Yeah. Then I think Lambert, myself, and Mr. Preston, Samurai Guy, are going to be doing a review of First Blood at one point.
Like the OG First Blood?
The OG, yeah.
Very nice.
And there's some other stuff coming up that I'll be doing with Lambert, and of course our own content. So I'll just have to figure out what I want to do next. But it's been a lot of fun, and maybe I'll eat some dinner and watch Quasar's reaction to Asmon just to see what that's all about. But thanks for watching. If you enjoy the content, please subscribe and like the videos and share if you would. And
yeah, we don't have 10,000 views, so if you give us like 10 views, we would be happy.
Yeah, we were okay. We were down.
Great.
We're on the low totem pole. But
all we're trying to do is just, talk shit, and maybe we need.
That's all we do is talk shit.
Let's maybe us start yelling at Asmon, and he'll put us up there.
No, I like Asmon too much. I don't really dislike him. So and I probably pick on some of the other ones, but I'm like him, man. I don't get triggered for a little bit shit. That's just silly. But it is funny watching some of these guys and gals come at him, and they're just like, they don't think anything through. It's like no common sense. Like, you got to come back with some stats.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I had a good time. Thank you for inviting me. And see you.
See ya. Have a great weekend. See you next time here on the Meltdown Radio podcast. And peace out, motherfuckers.
Just see me before you die. Find the blood.